ESPN presents.
Welcome to the NHL Frozen Frenzy.
All 32 teams.
What a night of hockey for the fans.
16 games, one night.
Every single minute of every game.
The NHL Frozen Frenzy presented by AstraZeneca. Penguins Flyers at 6 Eastern. Then Capital Stars and King Sharks on ESPN and the ESPN app. And whip around coverage begins at 6 tonight on ESPN Plus, ESPN2, Disney Plus, and the ESPN app.
Coming up on SportsCenter all night. Game 3 of the Fall Classic.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a high fly ball. Left field. On its way. Out of here. Into the bullpen of the Dodgers.
Chiefs and Commanders clash at Arrowhead.
Mahomes looks over to the sideline. He's got Kareem Hunt as his running back. No score in this game. 5:55 to go first half. Kareem Hunt plows into the line. Touchdown! Kansas City!
The number 1 pick against the reigning champs.
Here's Davis to Thompson. Right to left stops. Left corner Christie against Holmgren. Back out the flag. He spins on Wallace. Protects the ball. Pumps against 3 and puts it up, and it took his time. Just to the right of the lane behind the charge circle.
And 3 defenders around him. They will still get the bucket.
Plus, we take the Sports Equinox to the ice.
Loaded up for one. Touch pass from Rust over to Crosby on a breakaway between the rings. Stuff denied. Second attempt. He scores! Sidney Crosby bats home his own rebound and puts the Penguins back up by 2.
From the worldwide headquarters of ESPN, this is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
You could probably binge watch a series in 6.5 hours or take in one series game. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio, the all-new ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, SportsCenter all night, presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a Pepper thing. When we get into the time of the sports equinox, you know it's a great time of year. There's hoops, there's hockey, there's NFL action. It's also the end of the baseball season. Dodgers, Blue Jays split the first 2 in Toronto and then went to L.A. and essentially played 2 more. But we're just calling it Game 3. Dodgers would open the scoring with a home run from Teoscar Hernandez in the bottom of the second. An inning later, Shohei Ohtani steps to the plate.
The 31-year-old played 6 years with the Angels, never played at a postseason game. Tonight, his 29th postseason affair. He swings and drives one. Deep right field. On its way. Gone. Right field. And over the wall, Shohei Ohtani. He's having a night. A double and now a homer. And it's 2-zip.
L.A. grabbing the early lead. Toronto would respond with a big inning in the top of the 4th.
Glasnow deals. Breaking ball hammered center field. That one back. Pages near the wall. Racing back and it's gone. A 3-run homer. Alejandro Kirk hammers it out of here. And the Blue Jays have the lead. It's 3-2. Kirk goes deep.
It would wind up being a 4-run inning for the Blue Jays. But back come the Dodgers in the 5th, and look who's back at the plate.
Payoff pitch. Swing and a line drive out towards left center field. That one will touch down, and it's going to bang up against the wall. Hernandez on the move, racing around third. Kike Hernandez to the plate, and it's an RBI double for Shohei Ohtani into that left center field gap. And it's a 1-run game. April 1st this year. Next offering, line. Fair ball inside the first base bag. Past the lunging Guerrero. Around third and in to score is Ohtani. Freeman will hang on at first. It's an RBI single. And the Dodgers have tied the game at 4.
Freddie Freeman tying it up at 4 in the 5th inning. 7th inning. Blue Jays retake the lead. A Bo Bichette single scores Vlad Guerrero all the way from first base. So Toronto's back in front in the 7th. Bottom of the 7th. Guess who?
Dominguez at the bell. Kicks, delivers. Swing and a drive. Left field, way back, and This guy is unreal. First pitch, and he launches out into the bleachers in left center. We're starting over. It's 5-5. Shohei Ohtani on display.
And let's just say that was really the last pitch he saw on the night in the 7th inning. That's usually not saying much, but there's more. He tied the game at 5 in the 7th. Bottom of the 9th, Ohtani at the plate, 1 out, nobody on. Tie game, Toronto intentionally walks him. So Ohtani, the winning run at first with 1 out, winds up getting caught stealing at second base. So the Dodgers failed to score in the 9th. So extra innings in game number 3. Top of the 10th, Blue Jays with the go-ahead run at first base and 2 outs.
And the pitch. Swing and a line drive, fair ball into the right field corner. Schneider around second towards third. Hernandez picks it up. Throw to Edman. Edman's throw to the plate. To Smith. Tag! Out at the plate. Hernandez and Edman to Smith. And they cut down the go-ahead run at home plate.
So the game stays tied, and tied through the 11th, where Shohei Ohtani was intentionally walked again. Top of the 12th, Blue Jays load the bases, 2 outs. On comes Clayton Kershaw out of the bullpen into a bases-loaded situation.
Bases loaded, 2 down, 3-2. The pitch, swing and a little roller to the right side. Edman up with it, shovels with the glove, and they get the runner at first. Great play, Tommy Edman.
So that ended that threat. No scoring in the 13th. And in the bottom of the 13th, Dodgers had a leadoff double, a sacrifice bunt. They had the winning run at third with 1 out, but an infield pop-up. They intentionally walked Shohei Ohtani again. And Mookie Betts this time as well. They load the bases, but Freddie Freeman flies out to the warning track to end the 14th inning. Ohtani intentionally walked in the 13th, becoming the first player in baseball history to reach base 7 times in a World Series game. There would be more. Nothing in the 14th or 15th. In the 15th, Shohei Ohtani gets his 4th intentional walk since the home run in the 7th inning. 16th inning, still nothing. On to the 17th, Dodgers, a 2-out single from Alex Call. Pulls up at first rather than trying to get to second so they wouldn't intentionally walk Ohtani again. They walk him anyway, not intentionally, but just 4 pitches out of the zone. They get Mookie Betts to get out of the 7th inning. 18th inning, Yoshinobu Yamamoto starts warming up in the bullpen. Coming off a complete game in Game 2, L.A. digging deep in this one. Top of the 18th, Blue Jays have runners in scoring position for the first time since the 12th inning, but Will Klein gets a strikeout to end the inning. He goes 4 scoreless after being activated for the World Series roster on Friday. He keeps it tied. It goes to the bottom of the 8th inning. Freddie Freeman leading off.
Little ready, kick steals. Swing and a high fly ball, center field. Varsho back, near the wall, at the track, gone! Freddie Freeman! A home run to center field. Freeman walks it off in the 18th. Oh, Freddie delivers. And they wait to mob him at home plate. The Dodgers in 18 win it. 6-5. Freddie goes yard. Man.
Boog Shambi called it right here on ESPN Radio. Dodgers get the 6-5 win in 18 to take a 2-1 series lead. Their 4th World Series walk-off hit. All of them have been home runs. 4 World Series walk-offs since the franchise moved to Los Angeles. Freddie Freeman had a grand slam to end Game 1 in 2024. Max Muncy had a solo shot to end Game 3 in 2018. And, of course, Kirk Gibson in Game 1 of 1988. This one, Freddie Freeman, solo shot to lead off the bottom of the 18th, and after the win, our Buster Olney caught up with him.
Freddie, you did it again.
This one took a little longer. What a game. Our bullpen, absolutely incredible. I can't say enough about them and the job they did to get us to this point. 18 innings, pretty incredible.
So many near misses in this game when the ball left your bat. What was your instinct?
I didn't know if it was gone just because of the last couple. I hit a couple good ones in the, 15 innings, 13th inning, and it didn't go out. So I knew I flushed it. I knew my backswing. I just didn't know if I hit it too high, but thankfully it went out.
What was it like to play in that game?
Oh, my gosh. It was awesome because we won.
How about the heroes that all pitched in this game?
Yeah, all the pitchers. That was incredible. Will Klein, that's 4 innings. That last pitch, curveball, 3-2 count, second and third. Absolutely incredible. Just glad we were able to get that win when our guys gave everything they had.
Freddie, thanks.
Freddie Freeman goes 2 for 7, couple of walks, and, of course, a couple of RBI with the walk-off home run in the 18th inning. Shohei Ohtani, 4 for 4, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 5 walks. Technically, 4 of them were intentional walks. The 5th one was one of those unintentional intentional walks. He's the first player in baseball history to reach base 9 times in a postseason game. Blue Jays manager John Schneider.
We're trying to pitch around him, you know what I mean? And you trust Sir Anthony to make pitches to do that. And sometimes for pitchers, it's hard to do that, you know, when you're kind of trying to throw a ball and didn't put it where he wanted to put it. But, you know, he had a great game. He's a great player. But I think, you know, after that, you just kind of take the bat out of his hands.
Toronto essentially didn't pitch to him after the game tying home run in the 7th. Ohtani, the second player in baseball history with 4 extra base hits in a World Series game. This one, 18 innings, 6 hours, 39 minutes. Dodgers win it 6-5 on the walk-off to take a 2-1 series lead. Game 4 tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio. Right now, SportsCenter all night from Game 3 to Week 8. Commanders, Chiefs in Kansas City for Monday night, wrapping up Week 8. Chiefs on the board first with a touchdown in the second quarter. Kareem Hunt, 1-yard touchdown run. Washington ties it up at 7 in the final minute of the second quarter. A Marcus Mariota touchdown pass. So it's tied at 7 at the half. First drive of the third quarter, though, a Chiefs touchdown drive.
Hunt, the running back. Snap to Mahomes. Retreating. Moving to his right. Now pump faking. Throws it late. Wide open. Touchdown. Kansas City. Kareem Hunt has his 18th receiving touchdown. The Chiefs take the lead on the second touchdown of the night for Kareem Hunt.
Chiefs take the lead and then force Washington to punt. Kansas City gets the ball back and another offensive drive.
Mahomes fakes the snap at his left knee, keeping the feet alive. Sings it late for the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown! Kansas City, and Travis Kelce with the catch now ties Priest Holmes for the most touchdowns in Kansas City Chiefs history. A 10-yard strike, and the Chiefs have that coveted second half 2-possession lead.
Rich Holtis, 96-5. The Fan. Chiefs go on to a 28-7 win over Washington. Chiefs are 5-1 in their last 6 after dropping their first 2 of the season. Patrick Mahomes, 299 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Our Lisa Salters caught up with him.
You already know what I'm going to ask, right? The game was tied at half. Yeah. Just what was different for you guys coming out of the locker room?
Yeah, we just executed better. You know, they had more energy than we did starting the game off. Their defense versus our offense, and we just had way more energy in that second half. We executed at a higher level, didn't turn the ball over, and our defense held strong.
What were you saying to yourself in the first half after those 2 interceptions?
Yeah, I mean, the first one was a hell of a play. I mean, Lattimore, that's a great player making a great play. I threw the ball where I wanted to. He made a great play in the second one. That stuff happens. You know, you got to live through it. You got to play through it. And our defense kept holding them, giving us chances, and we got it going in the second half.
Travis tied the touchdown record. He told me before the game what it would mean to him. Just what does it mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the true chief of Chiefs, man. I mean, he is the guy that was here before me, sets the culture. He's the guy that is in the building early, in the building late, and he is the leader of this team. So to be able to get him that record, tying it, let's go out there and break it now.
Travis Kelce with 6 catches on the night, including the touchdown catch, his 83rd career touchdown, which ties Priest Holmes for the most in Kansas City history. 15th player to reach 100 career touchdown catches. 4th tight end with Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez, Rob Gronkowski, ESPN analyst Ryan Clark.
Well, one, Antonio Gates already in the Hall of Fame. Rob Gronkowski will be joining him there as well. And Travis Kelce is a first ballot Hall of Famer. But it's the chemistry between quarterback and tight end that's so amazing.
It's ad lib, and we've never seen a greater example of them ad libbing than right here on this field against Buffalo in the playoffs, where literally you see Travis look at him and say, he gives him a look, and Mahomes just goes, do it, and they hit the play that leads to the field goal.
First off, I love the voice, but you're correct though, right? When you have a player as instinctive as Patrick Mahomes and as instinctive as Travis Kelce, you don't want to take that away from them. touchdown. That's part of their greatness. It's also unpredictable. When you look at that safety and the underneath coverage on that touchdown, now they're in a position where they're basically playing denial on the best shooter on any team. It's like trying to cover Steph Curry.
And it's the off-schedule stuff that has to be just infuriating if you're playing defense against them, because you've taken away what they wanted first, second, and third, and then it's the totally off-schedule stuff that leads to another.
But look at the huge 38-yard gain by Travis Kelce. He was an inline blocker on that play.
Just floated
Patrick Mahomes has a ton of time. He leaks out late, and now there's a big play that gets a ton of chunk yardage for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And when this team is playing at their best, those two are locked in with one another, and that's what we're seeing right now.
And the Chiefs got the 28-7 win over Washington for the Commanders, their fifth loss this season, matching their total from the 2024 season. Coach Dan Quinn.
I thought heading into the game and early in, the energy, the juice, and the speed, I saw and felt that from the minute we stepped on the field. And that's honestly what we're looking for. But, man, did we leave a lot of opportunities out there tonight. And you cannot leave that many chances out there and expect to win, especially against this team. Not capitalize on the turnovers, not winning our fourth downs. They did. It was great to see us get in some of the takeaways. That's been an emphasis of what we've been hitting on. But, leaving here, you cannot leave that many opportunities out there and walk away from this place with a win. Like the intensity of the first half, but I just thought the opportunities for us to make our mark, and we didn't nail those. So you're not going to walk away from here with a win and miss those ops.
The 7 points, Washington scoring on Monday, the fewest they've had since Week 7 of 2023. We had a 50-point night on Monday. That's next. Sports Center All Night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
The NFL on ESPN Radio.
Do I think Nick Sirianni is an elite coach in this league? I do not. Go back to back.
Week to week, team to team.
Aaron Rodgers does a dance. Let's go crazy. We'll keep the show going, man.
NFL lives here. ESPN Radio. More Sports Center all night. Coming up next.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
This is going to be a very expensive hiring cycle because I don't know that there are enough high-profile coaches that fit the mold of what those universities are looking for. When I say those universities, I'm talking about Penn State. I'm talking about Florida. And now we're talking about LSU. There's only one Lane Kiffin. He can't be the guy for all of those job vacancies.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. This is Freddie and Harry.
Douglas in the East Bay, my friend. What you got?
I stopped listening to sports radio until I caught you guys again, and I'm really happy to have found you. So I was a football vagabond in college, and when I was at College of the Redwoods in Northern California, I had two teammates, one named Harry, one named Freddie. My Harry is more like you, Freddie. And my Freddie is more like you, Harry.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This is Adam Schefter, and on this week's episode, the Colts are for real, the Cowboys are fun, and the Chiefs might be even better than last year. The Adam Schefter Podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Now I've come to the conclusion that Bobo has to go.
Turtle is up next in Alabama. Hello, Turtle.
Bobo has got to go.
Paul Feinbaum, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and the SEC Network.
The Rich Eisen Show.
His team is number 2 in the AFC right now, but he was also 59th, the American Century Championship, where I finished tied for 88th. Just to be full disclosure, Mike Vrabel, the head coach of the New England Patriots.
Yes. Hi, Rich. We are there to smile, tell jokes, and sign autographs. That's our job, and to take pictures. Remember that.
I appreciate you giving me that coaching point because I was beginning to get down on myself.
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus. You're listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
Glad you can make Sports Center all night part of your night. Sports Center all night is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Bases loaded, 2 down, 3-2. The pitch, swing and a little roller to the right side. Edman up with it, shovels with the glove, and they get the runner at first. Great play, Tommy Edman.
Luke Shambi called it right here on ESPN Radio. Dodgers wind up winning an 18-inning marathon in Game 3 Monday in L.A., a 6-5 win thanks to a Freddie Freeman walk-off homer in the 18th. But that call coming from the 12th inning, and it was Clayton Kershaw who came out of the bullpen into a bases-loaded jam to get that final out of the inning.
I don't have words. We did that 6 years ago, and I didn't think we'd ever do that again. And then, just so many guys stepped up. I don't have words, but, hey, Will Klein. Will Klein was the MVP today. Obviously, Shohei did his thing, and Freddie, but Will Klein, 4 innings. I'm sure he's never done that before. That was amazing.
How about Freddie, back-to-back years doing this?
He's our guy, man. Freddie's our guy. It's the guy we won up. He's made for it. I'm glad he's on my team.
You're one of the guys who pitched in. What was that like to come in out of the bullpen, bases loaded, no margin for error, 12th inning?
I was just happy to be a part of it, man. Happy to contribute. We got a game in like 12 hours, so we get ready to go.
And you'll hear Game 4 here on ESPN Radio. Our coverage starts at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Dodgers in Game 3, first team ever to use 10 pitchers in a single World Series game. Clayton Kershaw, one of them. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. NBA Monday, Lakers at home hosting Portland. LA shorthanded even more so Monday. The team learning the latest is Gabe Vincent. He'll miss 2 to 4 weeks with a sprained left ankle. Suffered the injury in Sunday's win at Sacramento. Left in a walking boot. Monday arrived at the arena in crutches. He was the one who was starting the Lakers' first 3 games in place of LeBron James, who was among the others who were out. He's dealing with sciatica. So bottom line, LA doesn't have all that many options for offense. So on Monday, they just stuck with what worked on Sunday.
Out of Reeves. Reeves, three-pointer. Good. Another 40-point game for Austin Reeves. He's got 41. 115 to 105, 3:08 remaining. Blazers call timeout.
7:10 ESPN LA. Austin Reeves had 51 on Sunday, 41 on Monday, but Lakers lose to Portland, 122-108 the final as the Blazers get the win. Lakers third team in NBA history, though, with a 40-point score in each of their first 4 games. Each of the previous 2 instances came from Will Chamberlain. In Minnesota, no Anthony Edwards for the Wolves. He left Sunday's game in the first quarter dealing with a bum hamstring. He's expected to miss a couple of weeks. Timberwolves fall to the Nuggets, 127-114. Nikola Jokic, another triple-double, 25 points, 19 rebounds, 10 assists. Third player in NBA history with 3 consecutive triple-doubles to begin a season in NBA history. In Salt Lake, Jazz hosting the Suns in a game that went to overtime with Utah getting a huge night.
Clayton working the right side, stops in the pocket, top to Lowry, tough turnaround, 3, hit it! My goodness, Lowry Markin, how do you do?
That was one of those, oh yes.
47 for Lowry, 2 off his career high.
Marking in with a career high 51 points, 97-5 the zone. Jazz in overtime beat the Suns 138-134. Jazz winning their first 2 home games for the first time since 2022. Warriors hosting the Grizzlies. Steph Curry held under 20 points for the first time this season, but Golden State had other options.
As the Warriors play tomorrow night again, Curry finds Kuminga, flies in for the dunk. 118-96. And Jonathan Kuminga was 17. He's a plus 20 on the floor. Curry plus 24.
95-7 the game. Warriors top the Grizzlies 131-118. John Morant 23 in the loss. Warriors get the win. They're 3-1 or better for the third consecutive season. Celtics, meanwhile, had opened the season with 3 straight losses. However, Monday against the Pelicans,
Celtics 28% from 3. Still had the lead, though. Minot jumps the passing lane, almost had the steal. DeAndre Jordan saves it, takes the bounce, entry, attacks. Derek White leaves his feet and just pulls the ball away from Jordan. Shovel pass ahead to Simons. He's open. 3 in the air. Got it.
98.5 the Sports Hub. Celtics, a 32-point win over the Pelicans as Boston gets its first win of the season. Pelicans' first 0-3 start since 2021. Rockets dropped the Nets again, 137-109. Nets 0-4 for the first time since 2015. The 28-point win for Houston, their largest over the Nets since winning by 30 in 1989. Cavaliers get a win on the road in Detroit. Big night from Donovan Mitchell.
Cavs with the ball and the big lead. 1:20 to go here in the quarter. Wade in the paint. Left side to Mitchell. Wide open 3. Bullseye. 14-point third quarter.
Donovan Mitchell, 35 points. WTAM with the call. Cavs a 116-95 win over the Pistons. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio on the ice. Quick start for the Penguins at home against the Blues. Pittsburgh with 2 goals in the first 55 seconds of the game, and they'd get a milestone on the night as well.
Rolled over to Sid, and behind the net, snapped up Carlson. Touch pass, they score! Brian Rust, his second goal of the night, and Sidney Crosby picks up career point number 1,700.
He'd also pick up a goal as well. Penguins Hockey Network. Crosby, the 9th player in NHL history with 1,700 career points, only active player to reach that milestone. In Ottawa, Senators a 7-2 win over the Bruins. For Ottawa, the 10th game in franchise history with at least 4 power play goals. Back-to-back games with 3 power play goals for the 6th time in franchise history. How did the marathon night come to be? That's next. SportsCenter all night. It's ESPN Radio.
From the first pitch of the wild card.
The pitch. It's a total different atmosphere. This is the best part of baseball.
He's done it again!
Until a World Series champion is crowned.
And the Dodgers are World Series champions!
Hear every pitch of Major League Baseball's postseason. Wow. Right here on ESPN Radio.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on September 24th, 2016, when Tulsa found themselves down 31-0 to Fresno State with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Tulsa fought back to tie the game at 41. And then won 48-41 in double overtime.
ServPro. Like it never even happened.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Why would we trade our best player?
Well, at least you got to watch him in person when he was here.
I named my only son after him.
So you'll always remember his name.
Yeah, but what do I do with this jersey?
Luckily, the company has a great return policy.
I wore it for 6 seasons.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
ESPN's College Game Day, the podcast.
I think that might be what Scott Woodward, the AD at LSU, thought he was getting in Brian Kelly. That maybe a guy who everything would fit to him. LSU might need that. But to think, well, this BK guy, he's not good. We'll get somebody in who is good, and we're just going to automatically fix it all. I don't think it's as easy as they think there.
Listen to the College Game Day podcast with Reese Davis and Pete Thamel, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section and after Dad's back injury. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Trouble with opioids can start at home with unused medicines such as pills, patches, and syrups. You can remove the risk and protect your family. Find out how at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Earlier on Clinton and Friends.
Are we ready with the shot clock? Dylan, in South Dakota, the shot clock is actually on. You're on the air.
In 07, Presti turns the Sonic cap space to future SGA and picks. Domino's, Rashard Lewis, Kurt Thomas, Serge Ibaka, Oladipo.
Oh, that's too bad. Dylan.
Clinton and Friends, weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. This is Freddie and Harry.
So, Eric, what's number 3 in your list, or what says fall to you?
I got to go with the homecoming. Something like a homecoming when you're going to go to the step shows, you're hanging out and play at the plot next to the frats.
Wait a damn minute. Hold
up. The Deltas and the AKA.
There you go.
There you
go, E-Dog. He just became my hero.
Boy, I knew chocolate was a part of this life. I knew it. I knew it.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
How are you? My name is Scott Van Pelt, host of SV Pod, along with my partner in crime, Stanford Steve. What do we talk about mostly on the podcast, Steve?
Sports.
Some.
Parenting.
I feel like that comes up a lot. I feel like most recently I've needed some help because I feel like my shortcomings there are evident. It's life stuff, relatable content.
It's fun.
It's just two bald-headed goons just talking about nonsense a lot in a crowded podcast space. There's that one. We're here. Here we are.
Amber and Ian.
It is unbelievable how pathetic that franchise is. And Woody Johnson, you might want to take a look at the person in the mirror as the number one common denominator as to why the team stinks.
I'm old enough to remember when owners were silent. Owners now have their hands in everything. The personnel game stuff should be like 5th on an owner's priority list.
Amber and Ian, weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
Sports Center all night, taking you, as always, to 6 o'clock Eastern Time. And unsportsmanlike, Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, Michelle Smallman, 6 to 10 Eastern here on ESPN Radio.
Half-hour headlines on Sports Center all night.
Austin Reeves, another 40-point game for the Lakers, but L.A. falling at home. Chiefs pull away in the second half to win the Monday Night Football matchup against the Commanders. Game 3 of the World Series turns into a classic in L.A.
Little ready, kick steals. Swing and a high fly ball, center field. Varsho back, near the wall, at the track, gone! Freddie Freeman! A home run to center field. Freeman walks it off in the 18th. Oh, Freddie delivers. And they wait to Marvin at home plate. The Dodgers in 18 win it. 6-5. Freddie goes yard. Man.
Remember Game 3 of the World Series in 2018? 18 innings between the Dodgers and the Red Sox. Game 3 this year, 18 innings. And again, it involves the Dodgers. Technically Game 3. We could probably call it Games 3 and 4. Monday night in L.A., 18 innings for the Blue Jays and Dodgers. And that Freddie Freeman homer ends it. The Dodgers take the series lead. An instant classic in the World Series. And, of course, we heard it here on ESPN Radio. John Shambi, Eduardo Perez, Jessica Mendoza have the call for us. Back to Chavez Ravine. Boog.
Jay, thanks so much. Freddie Freeman delivers in the 18th inning. I mean, there's so many places to go in this one. I guess start at the end, but Eduardo Freeman delivers. Pretty amazing how clutch he has been really at all times in his career.
He really has, and he stays true to who he is. We've seen the fly balls to center field, to left center field. Doesn't try to make it bigger than the moment is. Straight away center, home run. It was a sinker coming in at 92 miles per hour, and he just was able to put his A swing on, the swing that we're used to seeing. And he even told Buster after the game, he said, look, I didn't know if it was going to go or not, but it's 63 degrees out there. Why not? It's Freddie time.
Really impressive stuff. And for the Dodgers, the bullpen, they had so many different guys pitch in. And Buster mentioned it at our post game when you're talking about Emmett Sheehan, you're talking about Kershaw coming in, but the guy you focus on, Will Klein.
Will Klein, 4 innings pitched, and honestly, a guy that wasn't on the roster through this entire postseason, wasn't on the roster in the back end of the season, really the regular season at all. Come in, and he got so many hugs, so much praise coming off after that fourth inning that he pitched. 72 pitches, but ultimately 10 pitchers for the Dodgers. And what everyone did, Tyler Glasnow came in this game in the 5th inning, and the bullpen being able to pick him up, including the Blue Jays on the flip side.
You look at Henriquez, Klein, guys that hadn't pitched in so long. Henriquez did not throw a slider for a ball. All 11 pitches, he landed them for strikes. He got chases out of them. The velo was there, and look, Andrew Freeman knows how to construct a roster. He showed it here tonight.
Dodgers win Game 3 and now have a 2-1 advantage in this best-of-7 World Series. In 18 innings, the Dodgers prevail 6-5, the final score. For Eduardo Perez, Jessica Mendoza, I'm John Shambi right here in your home for the World Series. Major League Baseball on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Now we send it back to Jay Reynolds in the studio.
All right, Boog, well done by you and the crew. Dodgers becoming the first team ever to use 10 pitchers in a single World Series game. As Jess Mendoza noted, they went double digits with their pitching arms. Blue Jays, meanwhile, double digits in runners left on. They left 19 runners on base, the most by any team all time in a World Series game. They wind up losing in 18. Manager John Schneider.
I love the way we played. I love the way we fought. I think every single player had the right intentions on both sides tonight. You know, there's a lot of things you look at. You know, we had chances to score. They had chances to score. Yeah, a lot to digest. You know what I mean? But I think turning point's obviously a walk-off homer. But, man, I give my guys so much credit for playing the way they did, and Eric Lauer pitching the way he pitched. That's pretty unbelievable. I know Klein did the same thing for them. But a lot to unpack in that game, but I couldn't feel, as good as I do right now about the way they went about it.
Speaking of Blue Jays pitching, Max Scherzer, no decision. He went 4 1/3, gave up 3 runs on 5 hits. First pitcher in baseball history to start a World Series game with 4 different teams. Also for Toronto, George Springer goes 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts, left the game with an apparent injury after hitting a foul ball in the 7th inning. Dodgers take the game in 18 innings. They take a 2-1 series lead. They'll do it again later today as the World Series continues. Game 4, every pitch of the World Series is here on ESPN Radio. Our coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Right now, SportsCenter all night.
Patrick Mahomes still on the field to kneel down.
4th win in 5 games. The Kansas City Chiefs are 5-3. After an 0-2 start, they'll head to Buffalo for a Sunday late afternoon game against the Bills. But this game ends with Kansas City beating the Washington Commanders 28-7. And again, it is the first time the Commanders have been held under 17 points for the first time in 25 games. That's the longest active streak in the National Football League.
There's 7 points, the fewest since 2023. Chiefs with a 28-7 win over the Commanders in the Monday night game. 96-5, the Fan with the call. Chiefs and Commanders were tied 7-7 at the half, but Kansas City outscoring Washington 21-0 in the second half. Patrick Mahomes had time. He took at least 4 seconds to throw on all 3 of his touchdown passes in the win. That's tied for the most that we've seen in a game over the last decade. ESPN analyst Ryan Clark.
I think the big thing is when you're as good as Patrick Mahomes is, you know how to put adversity behind you or mistakes or missed throws. And that's what he was able to do. Marshawn Lattimore makes a great play early on in the game. And then obviously the tip pass from Travis Kelce that ends up in the interception. But to me, it was his ability to buy time and create more opportunities for his receivers down the football field to get open. This year, more than any, Patrick Mahomes has utilized his legs to create second play opportunities for himself and for his offense. And I think that's been a huge part of how this team has started to get going, not to mention Xavier Worthy being healthy and Rashee Rice coming off of suspension.
They got the Bills next week, RC, and Buffalo, look, they've had their number in the regular season since Josh Allen's been there. He's 4-1 against the Chiefs, but they haven't had that success against Kansas City in the postseason. Mahomes is 4-0 in those matchups. So how much does this regular season matchup actually matter?
I mean, it always matters. Whenever you play the Chiefs, they are the litmus test in the AFC. And for Josh Allen, I'm sure that he would love for the next time that these two teams meet in the playoffs for it to be one of the last games played in their current stadium. But it's about seeing if you can hold down Patrick Mahomes. What can your defense do on the back end to frustrate all of those skill players? And how much can you put the football in James Cook's hands? Listen, last game he had over 200 yards, big-time touchdowns, and dynamic explosive plays. If I'm Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator of the Bills, I'm starting with the run first, and then I'm trying to let Josh Allen do Josh Allen type things. This is going to be a huge game.
Chiefs get the win over the Commanders to wrap up Week 8. Kansas City 5-1 in the last 6 after starting 0-2. The guys who called Monday Night Football on ABC and ESPN, Troy Aikman and Joe Buck.
They got out to that 0-2 start, and you just kept waiting for it to kick into gear, and it's happened. And I think, you know, they have more on the outside now than they had a year ago. They had Rice, who was out with the injury last year in Week 4, and he was not there. They were piecing it together. They added DeAndre Hopkins. It has a different feel right now. They get Rice back. They've got Hollywood Brown, who was also injured last year. They've got Xavier Worthy. They're adding new pieces like the rookie running back Rashard Smith. They've still got Kelsey, who's in better shape than he was a year ago. It goes on and on and on with Patrick Mahomes in the middle of it with a really, really good defense. So what's not to like? And, I agree, and I see what Patrick Mahomes told us, that he thinks this could be one of the best teams they've had in his time in Kansas City.
Troy, sitting down here on the field at halftime, we're raving about the way Washington has battled over the first 30 minutes. They're undermanned, they're beat up, and yet here it is 7-7. And then that next 30 minutes, I think, really illustrates the way in which Mahomes stresses you in ways maybe nobody else does. When it's off schedule, it's got to be incredibly maddening. And you've talked about your admiration for how he plays the game. What's the second half show that Mahomes does that maybe no one else does?
Well, I mean, just it's play after play. That if you can't get to him, and we talked about it in the pregame there, Scott, that if you can't get to Mahomes and get him on the ground, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a hard time matching up to all the players that Joe talked about. And you play zone coverage, you can't stop them. And then when you play man coverage with their ability to separate. But you can put a lot of quarterbacks in this offense, and it wouldn't look quite the same because of the throws that he's able to make. And I mentioned it during the game. I do think there's an element for a quarterback that you have to be instinctive in today's game in order to be successful. And Patrick has that in spades. And then with his ability to really, I don't like the term make all the throws, but he can make all the throws when he's in different positions. And not a lot of guys can do those types of things. So he's an impressive guy. He's the one who makes it all happen. And for Washington, they played as good as they could play. Yep. They had 3 takeaways coming into this game. They get 2 there in the first half, and yet they really weren't able to take advantage of it. And they just couldn't keep score with them once Kansas City got it rolling.
Joe, in the pregame, Troy mentioned it was sort of wishful thinking for those who were trying to get the shovel out and throw dirt on Kansas City after that 0-2 start. I mean, they feel inevitable. They feel inevitable to me. You share that sentiment?
Yeah, I do. I mean, there's no team in the AFC that thinks they're finished or we're even close to it.
Right.
They're the guys that have to play against this team, and they're the guys that have to figure out what Andy Reid's putting together every week and slow down Patrick Mahomes and find Travis Kelce just knifing his way through one zone defense after another. Now all the speed on the outside. And again, that good defense, which we keep sleeping on, but statistically one of the best they have been for the now 2.5 years. So it's all here, the experience. They know how to win when it matters the most. And, yeah, they'll just keep rolling until somebody shows me something different.
Chiefs improved to 11-1 all-time against Washington. Second-best record by any active franchise against another in NFL history. Commanders with their 5th loss this season. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. Back to the NBA. 2 teams in the Eastern Conference are 3-0. In the West, there's a pair that's now 4-0 in San Antonio Monday.
Wembanyama puts it to the floor, gets inside, goes up, spins, lays it up for two. What a move from Victor Wembanyama. Brought it down, did a little 360 spinorama there, and got it off the window.
WOAI as the Spurs go on to a 121-103 win over the Raptors. Wembanyama with 24 points, 15 rebounds. First Spurs player with 30 points per game through his first 4 of a season since Tony Parker in 2008. Spurs 4-0 to start a season for the 4th time in franchise history. Spurs are 4-0. So is the Thunder.
SGA just inside midcourt. In no hurry to do anything yet. 10 to shoot. Stationary, doubled by Christie. Shea. Double jump passing to Hartenstein, high post right. Wheeling down the lane on Davis, lays it up. And lays it in a burrowing bucket for Hartenstein. Inside for the Deuce, has 16. It's 97-94 Thunder, 33 seconds left.
WWLS 98-1, the sports animal. Thunder 4-0 for the second straight year. They never trailed in this one. They beat the Mavs 101-94. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 23 points, 76th straight 20-point game. Remains the 4th longest streak in NBA history. Bulls and Hawks.
Jones turns the corner in the lane, finds Giddey, top side 3. Yes, big time onions. Josh Giddey.
That's a big time shot. He came over from the weak side to get that shot.
6:70 the score with the calls. The Bulls beat the Hawks by 5, 128-123. They are 3-0 to start their season for the first time since 2021. Made the playoffs that season. Sixers pulling away from the Magic.
1:45 to go. VJ at midcourt. Jumps it across to Maxey. Maxey for 3. And he puts it up and in. The dagger. The Sixers lead by 10. Maxey was 6 in a row.
97-5 the Fanatics. Sixers 136-124 win over Orlando. Their first 3-0 start since 2019. Tyrese Maxey a 43-point game to go with 8 assists as well as the Sixers get the win to stay unbeaten. What next in Baton Rouge? That's next. Sports Center All Night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
The traditions, the rivalries, the drama.
Every week there was something magical.
This is the most wide open college football season we've had ever.
We don't have tomorrow or next year. We have now.
College football lives here. ESPN Radio. More Sports Center All Night coming up next. The Baseball Tonight podcast.
I was at that Game 5. That crowd at T-Mobile Park was amazing. It was the loudest that I've ever heard of a ballpark.
The Baseball Tonight podcast is on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Introducing the new ESPN Fox One bundle. Unlock all of ESPN and all of Fox One with one unbeatable price. Catch the biggest games, college football, NBA, NHL, and more on ESPN. Stream your faves, Big Noon Saturday, the World Series, and NASCAR on Fox One. All for just $39.99 a month. That's 20% off. The ESPN Fox One bundle. Offer valid for eligible subscribers only. Access content from each service separately. Savings compared to purchasing both plans separately. See stream.espn.com for complete terms and conditions.
This is Harry Douglas, and coming up Tuesday, Raiders All Everything running back Ashton Jeanty will join the show. Plus, I tell you which division leader I trust the least. It's Freddie and Harry, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
20th Century Studios presents Springsteen. Witness a true story of risking it all.
These new songs, they're the only thing making sense to me right now.
To fight for what you believe in.
This is not going to be good for Bruce. I don't need to be perfect. I just want it to feel right.
Springsteen. Rated PG-13. Parental guidance suggested for children under 13. Now playing only in theaters.
The Rich Eisen Show.
The Giants, there's reason to be excited to watch this team. There's reason for it, okay? Enjoy that. Enjoy that, because the co-tenants are taking impressionable young children.
I hate this team.
And making them stare into the abyss about why they even exist on the planet.
The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
This
This is Jerome from Birmingham, previously from Paul Feinbaum Show. Only allowed 20 points and lost the game.
Hey, Swamp Dog, I apologize for interrupting. We have a guest weighing in. We'll come back to you in a minute if that's okay. Hey, Rich.
I'm happy to be here as well, although it is very awkward. I was known in high school as Swamp Dog. You know, I don't mean to steal any thunder, but here I am.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC Network.
Saturday, tune into SEC Network for a full day of SEC football coverage, starting at 9 a.m. with Marty and McGee and SEC Nation. Then, it's an SEC afternoon doubleheader, followed by SEC Saturday night under the lights. Later, break down the day's action with SEC football final postgame. All-day SEC football coverage begins Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on SEC Network and stream on the all-new ESPN app.
Listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
Sports Center all night presented by Progressive. Guests are on the Dr. Pepper call-in line.
Big news of the day in college football, LSU firing Brian Kelly.
What's next for LSU? Well, they enter the most robust carousel likely in the history of college football.
LSU is absolutely the number one job on the market right now.
LSU firing Brian Kelly. That means, of course, there's a transition period as well. ESPN's Pete Thamel.
At LSU today, with change comes more changes. Joe Sloan, the offensive coordinator, who is in his second year at LSU, is out. He's being replaced as the play caller for the final few games by Alex Atkins, who'd been the OC at both Florida State and Charlotte as he wound his way up. He has an O-line background. And look, it's the Frank Wilson era. He's a longtime assistant coach in that part of the country. He's got strong Louisiana ties, and it's his show from here on in. And what a debut at Alabama, not this week, but next week.
And you could argue, Pete, looking at this one, this might be the best of the lot right now. So having said that, who might LSU target for this opening?
Well, it's going to be the Lane Kiffin show from here on in until a decision is made. He's a target at LSU. He's a target at Florida. And the competition between those two athletic departments for Lane Kiffin is going to be one of the things that hangs over the rest of this season. A fascinating wrinkle to all this, of course, is that Ole Miss is headed to the playoff. They have a high percentage chance of going there, especially after beating Oklahoma on Saturday on the road like they did. The regular season in college football ends in late November. The playoff starts December 19th. It is going to be a high wire act. It is possible, but if you are a playoff coach and you are going to take a job, it is going to be a high wire act to do that, especially if you win games in the playoff and it extends. How that unfolds will be a fascinating facet of this playoff for coaches like Lane Kiffin, maybe Brent Key, maybe John Summerall or Alex Golish. The timing does not line up for an easy transition.
Large buyout for Kelly as well, owed more than $54 million in buyout money. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. Monday Night Football, seeing the Chiefs top the Commanders 28-7. Travis Kelce, 6 catches, including a touchdown, his 83rd career touchdown, which ties Priest home for the most in Chiefs history.
I just cherish these moments, man, coming out here, being able to play in front of the Chiefs Kingdom and at Arrowhead. We were talking about it during the break, man. This place is special, man.
It really is.
And I love it here. And, it in terms of, like, the historical stuff, man, I'm still looking at the next game and looking at the next catch and trying to get better every single day. So I think I'll look back at it and appreciate it. You never know.
And I appreciate that. I remember when you sat down with Chris Berman talking about all that you could look at and go, damn, what have I done? And there's a lot. But in the midst of it, trying to stay present in the present, recognizing that not a whole lot of runway left, right? Like that's important, isn't it, to maintain your spot right here?
100%, man. I got to see my guy Zach Ertz out here today. We both came in 2013 Tight ends forever, baby. I love Zach, man. He had a hell of a run over there in Philly, and he's still doing it today, man.
While we're at it, he had a couple of catches. He joined the group with 800. It's only 6 of you that have done that, so we show him his respect.
And seeing him, man, and talking to him, man, we're cherishing every single one of these games, not knowing how long we'll be able to do this and living this dream as a kid every single week and enjoying this stuff, man.
Travis Kelce led Kansas City with 99 yards receiving in the Monday night win. Chiefs are one of 6 NFL teams without a 100-yard receiver this season. But Travis Kelce with the milestone touchdown, certainly one of the highlights of Monday night. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio.
Sports Center all night.
Oh, my goodness. Check it out on Sports Center tonight.
Today's top sound.
How good is that? Are you ready to take?
Number 5.
In Chicago, Bulls go to 3-0 for the first time since 2021 with a 5-point win over the Hawks. Chuck Swirsky, 670 the score.
Jones turns the corner in the lane, finds Giddey, topside 3. Yes! Big time onions! Josh Giddey. That's a big-time shot. He came over from the weak side to get that shot.
Number 4.
Thunder are 4-0 for a second straight season. They never trailed in their matchup with Dallas. WWLS 98-1 the sports animal.
Shea. Cross courts it, flat left to Holmgren. Pump fakes free of Washington, barreling down the lane. Dunks! Oh, Chet, don't be so mean. He wound up and thundered down a big right-hand delivery.
Number 3.
Jazz outlast the Suns in overtime. Lauri Markkanen becoming the first player in Utah history with 50 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 3-pointers. 97.5 the Zone.
Clayton is working the right side. Stops in the pocket. Top to Lowry. Tough turnaround. 3. Hit it! My goodness, Lauri Markkanen. How do you do? That was one of the... Oh, yes. 47 for Lowry. 2 off his career high.
Number 2.
On the ice, milestone night in Pittsburgh. Sidney Crosby becoming the 9th in history with 1,700 career points. Penguins Hockey Network.
Rolled over to Sid and behind the net. Snapped up Carlson. Touch pass. They score! Brian Rust, his second goal of the night. And Sidney Crosby picks up career point number 1,700.
Number 1.
In L.A., Boog Shabby and our ESPN radio crew calling a classic marathon Game 3 for the Blue Jays and Dodgers.
2 down. Little, ready, Hicks deals. Swing and a high fly ball, center field. Varsho back, near the wall, at the track. Gone! Freddie Freeman! A home run to center field. Freeman walks it off in the 18th. Oh, Freddie delivers. And they wait to Marvin at home plate. The Dodgers in 18 win it. 6-5. Freddie goes yard. Man.
Dodgers go up 2-1 in the series after an 18-inning win. The emotions from Dodgers manager Dave Roberts.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest World Series games of all time. Emotional. I'm spent emotionally. We got a ball game later tonight, which is crazy. Yeah, there's just a lot of heroes tonight. Obviously, Freddie put the exclamation mark on the game, but you see what Will Klein did. Saw what Edgardo, Robleski, Clayton comes in. He was up for 3 innings and comes in and gets a huge out for us. Just across the board, everyone just had huge nights, big nights. Just kept kind of fighting. And, those guys over there, they gave everything they had. And, unfortunately, somebody's got to win that game. And, fortunately for the Dodgers, we got Freddie Freeman on our team.
Game 4 tonight in L.A. ESPN Radio pregame, 7 o'clock Eastern. It's Tuesday, October 28th, birthday of Julia Roberts. Unsportsmanlike is next. I'm Jay Reynolds, back tomorrow with Sports Center all night at ESPN Radio.
Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
ESPN presents.
Welcome to the NHL Frozen Frenzy.
All 32 teams.
What a night of hockey for the fans.
16 games, one night.
Every single minute of every game.
The NHL Frozen Frenzy presented by AstraZeneca. Penguins Flyers at 6 Eastern. Then Capitals Stars and Kings Sharks. On ESPN and the ESPN app. And whip around coverage begins at 6. Tonight on ESPN Plus, ESPN2, Disney Plus, and the ESPN app.
What's up, kiddos? Clinton Yates here. Coming up on Tuesday, the Dodgers protect home field and beat the Blue Jays. How can Toronto regroup? We'll break it all down Tuesday on Clinton and Friends at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
We welcome you to college ball in the ACC.
Oh, my brother, you don't have to follow in your bloodline.
Every big play.
Down the sideline, touchdown.
Every milestone moment.
That's what you dream of playing, is playing games like this.
An insight you can't get anywhere else.
This guy is elite in every sense of the word.
All the pride, passion, and pageantry right here. ACC Network, your home for ACC football all season long.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. Coming up Tuesday, ESPN's Buster Olney joins me in studio to talk World Series, plus a Monday Night Football breakdown and Overreaction Monday on a Tuesday. That's on The Rich Eisen Show on Disney Plus, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
20th Century Studios presents Springsteen. Witness a true story of risking it all.
These new songs, they're the only thing making sense to me right now.
To fight for what you believe in.
This is not going to be good for Bruce. I don't need to be perfect. I just want it to feel right.
Springsteen. Rated PG-13. Parental guidance suggested for children under 13. Now playing only in theaters.
The Fantasy Focused Football Podcast.
Did you know, fellas, that, and I brought this up yesterday, but here actually is the stat.
Wait, is this a check this out or did you know? Now I'm confused as to what the segment
is. Both of them.
It's both of them?
Okay, it's so important that it's all the things, okay? Rico Dowdle is the 6th player since at least 1970 to produce 230-plus scrimmage yards in consecutive games.
The last one to do it?
Le'Veon Bell.
Thank you.
I knew that. Yeah, we were paying attention.
Check it out on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. Unsportsmanlike with Evan, Canty, and Michelle.
Little, ready, kicks field. Swing and a high fly ball, center field. Varsho back, near the wall, at the track, gone! Freddie Freeman! A home run to center field. Freeman walks it off in the 18th. Oh, Freddie delivers.
Okay, welcome to the show. We are on Sportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. The call from our very own Boog Shambi at 2:50 a.m. Eastern Time this morning, just a few hours ago. as the Dodgers walk off Game 3 of the World Series in 18 innings. You can be a part of Unsportsmanlike Nation on the Dr. Pepper call-in line at 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation is presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. In one of the most wild, insane games you'll ever see in your life, which I didn't see at the end, 6 hours and 39 minutes.
No,
that was
it
was an hour ago that it ended, basically. Dodgers up 2-1, 6-5 win, 18 innings. She is Michelle Smallman running the marathon on Sunday. He is Chris Canty. I am Evan Cohen. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning to you, Evan Cohen. Good morning, Michelle Smallman. But most importantly, good morning to Pat Costello. Isn't Pat the guy that told us that Shohei Ohtani was not a postseason performer?
I believe so, yes.
Wasn't he that guy? I mean, and
surely
Shohei,
you
what
have
does he
more
do?
important things to talk about than me right now.
No.
Yeah,
We're
remember
going to
that,
talk
Pat?
about that. Remember that, Pat? The I'm Over It segment? We're not talking enough about how Shohei Ohtani is not performing in the postseason.
Well, he wasn't.
Okay, all right.
Maybe I motivated him.
Yeah, okay.
2 homers, 2 doubles,
Woody
that
Johnson
solo
over there.
shot that tied the game 5-5.
I'm just saying, 4 extra base hits, reached base 9 times, which is a World Series record.
He is so good.
Absolutely ridiculous. He works 5 walks, 4 of which were intentional. He was so dominant that John Schneider says, you know what? We're not going to let that guy beat us. Anybody can beat us. Even Freddie Freeman, who won World Series MVP the year before, we'd rather have him beat us than the inevitability of Shohei Ohtani.
Well, guess what? Freddie Freeman did beat them. Freddie Freeman was like, okay, you want to put it on my shoulders? I'm good.
That's a bet.
I'll be sure to handle my business. He's the first player in World Series history with multiple career walk-off home runs. He did it in Game 1 last year, that walk-off grand slam. And that's why this Dodgers team feels so inevitable, because they have so many guys that can step up in those clutch moments and make that magic happen. Whether it's Shohei Ohtani with multiple home runs, Freddie Freeman with a shot when it matters the most. You got Tommy Edman making clutch defensive plays. They just are so loaded with talent. And if you told me heading into this game that it was going to be an 18-inning marathon and I had to pick a winner, I would say the team that has been there, done that, the team with so many stars with that muscle memory is going to be able to outlast the other team, and they did it.
Let's dive into some of the numbers and then get back to Ohtani, because the numbers are overwhelming. Will Klein, relief pitcher, 4 innings, no runs, 5 strikeouts for the Dodgers. The Dodgers used 10 pitchers in this game. That's a World Series record. One of those pitchers, you may have heard of him. He's in his last season in Major League Baseball. He's going to be a first ballot, unanimous, potentially, Hall of Famer. Clayton Kershaw, top of the 12, 2 outs. 5-5 game, bases loaded, comes in. He gets out of that jam, and that Tommy Edman little flip to first base, as small as just reference. How about Toronto with 19 runners left on base, a World Series record, just remarkable.
That's going to keep you up at night.
Well, they were already up at night because they had to play baseball.
George Springer injury will keep you up longer, though.
Yes, well, that's a problem. That's a problem. Let's get into the Ohtani part of this. You guys mentioned it. 4 of 4. Okay, that's the at-bats that count in the numbers there. 2 homers, 8 for the postseason, 2 doubles, 5 walks, 4 intentional, 3 ribbies, 14 for the postseason. Here's the wild thing. From after the 7th inning, there were in essence 11 innings, right? 10 or 11 innings, whatever.
Yeah, they basically played a doubleheader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he went up 5 different times. They intentionally walked him 4 of them. And the 5th one where he walked, they just didn't intentionally do it. They just didn't throw him any pitches to hit. When we compare him to some of the greats of all time, which he already is, Bonds is the one that you're like, all right, well, there's Bonds, and then there may be in our lifetime, and then everybody else. Ken Griffey Jr. obviously right there with Bonds. He had a Bonds-like game last night, because the amazing thing with Bonds when he was at his peak was that they would walk him with the bases loaded and be like, I'd rather just face whoever's next and give him a run. I'd argue what Toronto did last night worked. As crazy as that sounds, and I don't, because he didn't score a run after that. I don't know, guys. Is he going to see another pitch the entire series?
They're going to have to pitch to him at some point.
Why?
They're going to have to. Because you've seen what that roster can do. They're flush with MVPs. So if you don't want to let Ohtani beat you, they got other guys that can beat you, whether it's Freddie Freeman or it's Mookie Betts, so on and so forth. You can't afford to continue to put guys on base and think that lineup isn't going to come through in a big spot. I would argue that they were fortunate last night with how many times Ohtani was able to reach base and how many guys that they were able to see on base, all of the traffic that they had for their pitchers. They were fortunate not to have the Dodgers put up a bigger number. So I don't know if that's something that's sustainable. I think that might be something that they use for the moment. But, I mean, how many games are the Dodgers going to go 2-of-14 with runners in scoring position?
Oof.
You know, for all of the things we're talking about, the guys left on base for the Blue Jays, the Dodgers left 18 guys on the bags. So how many games are you going to have where the rest of the lineup isn't going to come through? I don't think you're going to have many of those, which is why I think last night's game was an outlier. And, of course, the manager for the Blue Jays, you got to feel the heartbeat of the game. It just made more sense based on what you've already seen from Ohtani with 4 extra base hits to see if somebody else could do it. And unfortunately for him, he found out that Andrew Freeman built the roster where there's always a guy other than Ohtani, the star, that can step up in a big spot.
Not many vulnerabilities on the Dodgers.
Hell no. The vulnerability was the bullpen, and those guys came through.
They did.
Everybody said, you know what? If we can get to the Dodgers bullpen, we got a chance. If the Blue Jays can grind out the starting pitching, we got a chance. No, you don't. No, you don't.
And by the way, up until this moment in the postseason, it hasn't been an issue because Dave Roberts has let the starters go. So what was the vulnerability heading into the postseason hasn't really presented itself. But is this a wrap, you guys? I know that there's a lot of baseball left to play. I know that when teams get down in the World Series that they sometimes find a way back. I am a fan of a team that was down to their final strike twice and came back and won the World Series. So I know that the impossible can happen. But what a dispiriting loss. You're going 18 innings.
Yeah, that's dispiriting. Yeah.
It's a dispiriting loss.
No, that's the word of the day. That's the word of the day.
Dispiriting?
Yes. Causing someone to lose enthusiasm or hope, disheartening. This was a dispiriting loss, though,
You
for
worked
Toronto.
so hard to set that up. You didn't even answer the question that I asked both of you because you're like, I have to figure out a way of getting dispiriting in.
Because what is more dispiriting than what Toronto endured last night? An 18-inning marathon, and you lose the game on a walk-off?
I understand that.
You get that many guys on base, and you lose the game in 18 innings? There is no other way to describe this game other than dispiriting.
Oh, yeah, no other way. But I would like Miss Baseball over there to answer the question that
About as
CC
subtle
answered.
as a gunshot, Smalls.
Can you answer the question? He says you have to still pitch to Ohtani. I say I don't think so. Would you, if you were the Blue Jays, pitch to Ohtani the rest of the series? They didn't pitch to him from innings 8 to 18, and the Dodgers only scored 1 run. CC's saying they got fortunate. There's no way that's replicable moving forward, that they're going to get burnt by that. Would you, Michelle Smallman, pitch to Ohtani the rest of the series?
So my answer is informed by a lived experience, and I would not pitch to him because I am a fan of the St. Louis Cardinals, who in 2013 kept attacking Big Papi at the plate thinking, oh, eventually we're going to get him. And guess what? He never cooled off. He single-handedly beat them in the 2013 World Series. So many people in St. Louis harken back to that and say, if you just would have avoided him at the plate, you would have had a chance. So I personally would not go after Ohtani.
So lead off tonight.
But to CeCe's point, there are so many other guys in that lineup that you're concerned with.
It worked. Even though they lost last night, there's an argument it worked. John Schneider is the manager of the Blue Jays. Ironically, he's also the general manager of the Seahawks, who would now, again, find their way into this, but it's not the same guy. He had this to say about the strategy facing Ohtani last night.
We're trying to pitch around him. You know what I mean? And you trust Sir Anthony to make pitches to do that. And sometimes for pitchers, it's hard to do that, you know, when you're kind of trying to throw a ball and didn't put it where he wanted to put it. But, you know, he had a great game. He's a great player. But I think, you know, after that, you just kind of take the bat out of his hands.
Dave Roberts is the Dodgers manager. Other side of it, they walked him 5 times, 4 times intentionally last night in one game, which is wild. It's Bonds-like. It's the only way to describe it. Here's what Roberts had to say post-game.
No, it's I get it. You know, he's you know, the best player on the planet, and you know, he was on the heels of a huge offensive night, and you know, John smelled that and wasn't going to let Shohei beat him at all, obviously, and even when nobody's on base and putting him on to make the other guys beat him, and respect it. And fortunately, we have other guys behind Shohei that can still do some things, and yeah, I mean, a hard-fought game.
All right, so just to be clear, I think Smalls and I are saying that to lead off the game tonight, a game that he, of course, is the starting pitcher also, we are suggesting that the Blue Jays should walk him to start the game tonight. I want to be clear on this, Smalls. You and I are saying that. Maybe not intentionally, but nothing hit. And CC, you're saying good luck because then you got Mookie and Freddie. You can't do it.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
This is what Dave Roberts just said. This is why he's the best player in the sport. Think he had a 3-home run, 10 strikeout game to get to the World Series. And in the World Series, he got on base 9 times in one game, and he's the starting pitcher in the same day, later in the day. I mean, this is insane.
He's not a good postseason performer.
Oh, boy.
He's not.
For him, his numbers at that time were not as good as they could have been and have been in the postseason at the time Pat said it.
But he changed up his routine. You know, normally he's in the cage. That's how he takes BP, and that's how he gets ready for games. And because he was in a slump. For him, as Pat pointed out, well, he was. I mean, he was not performing at the plate the way that anyone expected him to. He switched it up, to his credit. He went out. He took BP on the field. He wanted to see the ball more. He wanted to see the field more and opened up his vision in a different way. And since he made that change, he has been unlocked. And I just hope we savor this. I say this all the time. I hope we savor what we're seeing with Shohei Ohtani, because we will never see another baseball player like this as long as we live.
I just want to put this out there. Freddie Freeman, I mean, in a big spot, on the biggest of stages.
Pretty good.
You know, we're spending a lot of time talking about Ohtani, and rightfully so. I don't know that there's a guy that I want in a big spot in the biggest of games more than Freddie Freeman.
Amen.
Period.
We've seen it time and time again.
Period.
Across multiple franchises.
Period. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I know the numbers with George Springer, and I know Shohei Ohtani is special, generational. I don't know that there's a hitter in baseball that I want game on the line World Series more than Freddie Freeman.
Ice in his veins.
That same description could be used towards a certain quarterback who happened to play last night, which we will get into in just a couple of minutes. Reminder, the World Series is on ESPN Radio. All the action tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN app. After a guy gets on base 9 times, he's the starting pitcher tonight. Just remarkable. We will get into Monday Night Football after Smalls has this from Venmo.
This college football season, show your school spirit every time you pay. Introducing college-branded Venmo debit cards. Rep your team on and off the field with custom school designs that let everyone know who you root for. Whether you're tailgating, grabbing snacks for the watch party, or celebrating a win, you can unlock 15% cash back at ESPN, 1 free year of Perplexity Pro, and more. This college football season, score more with the Venmo debit card. Get yours now on the Venmo app. Learn more at venmo.com/collegecard. Max cash back varies. Terms apply. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A.
From the first pitch of the wild card.
The pitch. It's a total different atmosphere. This is the best part of baseball.
He's done it again! Until a World Series champion is crowned.
And the Dodgers are World Series champions!
Hear every pitch of Major League Baseball's postseason. Wow. Right here on ESPN Radio.
You ever wake up with a sore throat, feeling a little off, and you know you're getting sick? Well, getting sick and going on the IL isn't an option, especially for me when I'm traveling for work. You can try to see a doctor, well, good luck there, or go sit for hours in an urgent care. Nope. That's why you need a medical emergency kit. This isn't some cheap first aid kit, okay? Your medical emergency kit comes packed with doctor-prescribed meds. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy right there in your home. If you're coming down with the flu, bam, here's your Z-Pack. You've got gastrointestinal issues, here's your Bactrim. From Z-Pack to ivermectin, amoxicillin, and doxycycline to treat strep, pneumonia, sinus infections, UTIs, COVID, and more. It's all right there in your kit. Just match your symptoms to the guide or talk with their telehealth doc. No doctor waiting rooms, no pharmacy lines. Order online in minutes and get $50 off with code SPORTS at urgentcarekit.com/sports. Get yours now at urgentcarekit.com/sports, promo code SPORTS.
And ESPN Radio Extra Point with Rich Eisen.
The Ravens come up with that win. Lamar, looks like we're going to see him in Miami to kick off week 9 on Thursday. And then after that, 2 more on the road in a row at Minnesota. And they're at Cleveland, home for the Jets. Then they get Cincinnati twice around the first of 2 games against Pittsburgh. All right. You can make some hay right there. You can go on a nice run. And guess what you can do? You can win the division. They still have their games against Cincinnati and Pittsburgh right in front of them, and 1 more against Cleveland. And they are only 2 back. And Lamar's coming back. Look out. It's there. It's there in the ether. Can they make it work? Can they make it happen? They've dug themselves a hole where the margin for error is small. It's right there, but they have to win the game we expect them to win, and not lose the games that we don't expect them to lose, like they did in falling to 1-5.
think Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Fourth win in 5 games. The Kansas City Chiefs are 5-3 after an 0-2 start.
They had more energy than we did starting the game off. Their defense versus our offense, and we just had way more energy in that second half. We executed at a higher level, didn't turn the ball over, and our defense held strong.
And every single game has its different challenges. You know, you got to kind of figure that out on the run with the guys that are in the building and the guys that are stepping up in positions, knowing we were a little banged up today. So it's always moving forward, but we got the leadership and we got the head coach to be able to get it done versus anybody.
96.5 The Fan in Kansas City, Chiefs Radio Network. A little Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce after that. Unsportsmanlike is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive is helping veterans drive their lives forward with its Keys to Progress program. Last night you saw it on ESPN. You saw the Manning cast on ESPN2 as Kansas City beats Washington Monday Night Football 28-7. That game was tied 7 apiece at the half, and then Kansas City was Kansas City in that second half with 21 points unanswered. Very uneven in the first half. Is that a way to look at it, maybe, in terms of the amount of turnovers, the weird turnovers in terms of, like, Deebo Samuel.
No, that was just good ball by the Washington Commanders defense.
Okay, so
that was just good ball.
Conversely, Deebo Samuel gave the Chiefs an INT that was one of the worst plays I've ever seen in my life.
It was awful.
He tried to catch it, it bounced off his face into the hands of Kansas City. And by the way, then Kelce's like, you know what, I'll do you a favor. I'll do the same kind of thing. And it went off of his hands. And you had all of that in the first half. But ultimately, 25 of 34, 299, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks for Mahomes. Kelce, 6 for 99 and a touchdown. He now is tied with Priest Holmes for the most touchdowns all time in Kansas City Chiefs history. And after starting 0-2, the Chiefs are 5-3. So Kansas City right now is what?
Favored in the AFC.
Okay.
Am I wrong? Do you have a team in the AFC? The Colts, perhaps?
Yes.
You believe in the Colts more than the Chiefs right now?
Depends on where that game is at. But the Colts...
And that's not me being disrespectful to the Colts,
The Colts are a historically good offense.
They're amazing.
That's a legitimate team. And I don't think people are giving them enough respect. To me, it's them and Kansas City draw a line and then everybody else in the conference. But in terms of what we saw last night, it's basically what we've known the Kansas City Chiefs to be in the Mahomes, Andy Reid era of Chiefs football, right? You have next to no margin for error. When the game starts out the way that it does, with 3 plus 40 possessions for the Washington Commanders that results in 0 points, you know you're going to lose that game. And Dan Quinn talked about it a little bit in the postgame. They had their chances to assert themselves. Credit to the Commanders. They were a live dog last night with Marcus Mariota, the backup quarterback, as the starter. They came out with the requisite energy that it takes, the effort, but ultimately you have to execute in the critical phases of the game. And their plus territory offense was absolutely abysmal early on, and that ultimately led to their undoing. So I think the Kansas City Chiefs, when you have Patrick Mahomes playing as well as he's been playing over the last month or so, they're going to be tough for anybody to beat. You damn near got to play mistake-free football, and the Washington Commanders just didn't do that last night.
They did not. And this Chiefs team is scarier to me than the team that we've seen over the past 2 seasons. And, oh, by the way, that team went to 2 out of 3 Super Bowls. They went to 3 in a row, obviously won 1 and lost 1. But the way they're performing in the regular season is scarier to me than we've seen the past 2 years with the Chiefs. The defense has always been there. But now this offense is clicking on a different level. They seem focused in a different way. They're having more fun in a different way. They have an identity. Patrick Mahomes is playing unreal right now. Travis Kelce, to start the season, we were like, I don't know, is this the end for him? He didn't look like himself. Now they're finding that connection again, the two of them. They're getting healthier. They got pieces back on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know, guys. This is not me dismissing what we've seen from the Indianapolis Colts, but as somebody who for the past couple of years didn't think the Chiefs had it in the regular season and then they proved me wrong and still got to the Super Bowl, I'm not going to bet against them this year. I'm just not.
Reverse psychology, or you believe it?
No, I really believe it.
I didn't know if you were trying to jinx them.
No, I really believe it. The way they're playing right now, they've won 4 out of the last 5. The offense looks awesome. Like I said, the defense has been there. What do you look at with this Chiefs team and think, maybe there's trouble ahead?
I'm the wrong guy to look at because I have them in the Super. I've never wavered on them. They're in the Super Bowl. I'm good to go, etc. So I'm with you, but I've been with you even when they didn't look this good as they looked in the second half last night. What's interesting is that we're looking at the Colts, rightfully so, as having a great start to the season. But if you think about this Sunday, we have the Chiefs and the Bills, right, which has been I don't want to say a great rivalry because the Bills don't win the important games, but it's been a great series.
They play them tough.
Yeah. So are you saying you would be more so looking forward to a Chiefs-Colts game this weekend than a Chiefs-Bills game? Like, because you said Colts.
I'm going to see Chiefs-Colts in, 4 weeks?
No, but I'm saying you said Chiefs-Colts draw a line everyone else.
Yeah.
I still think the Bills have to be in that conversation just because of their history, even though they haven't played that well this year from start to finish, and they've had some clunky games.
The Bills aren't as good as the Colts. It's not a hot take.
I didn't say it was.
The Bills just aren't as good of a football team as the Colts. Even though the Bills have generational talent, reigning defending MVP in Josh Allen, the Bills are not as good of a football team as the Indianapolis Colts. Now, we'll see what happens by season's end, but through the first 8 weeks of the NFL season, the Bills are not as good as the Colts. Hell, the Bills are not as good as the Patriots.
Right now.
And we got the standings to show it.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one team right now to go to the Super Bowl out of the AFC, Smalls, you're back on the Chiefs bandwagon.
I'm there.
I've never left.
Depends on where the game is, man. Depends on where the game is. And here's the thing. Very interesting stretch for Kansas City over the next 3 games. So in the next month of football, they've got their bye week in there, but they've got Bills, Broncos, Colts.
Not easy.
That very well may determine who gets the number 1 seed in the AFC. Depending on where the game is, if they run into the Indianapolis Colts, if that game is in Lucas Oil, I don't know that I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, if it's the Arrowhead Invitational once again, of course I'm rolling with Patrick Mahomes at home with Andy Reid. They just don't lose there, right? Yeah. They've lost to Joe Burrow, and that's about it. They don't lose at home in the postseason. Mm-hmm. So they lost to Tom Brady once upon a time too. But you know what I mean? Like in terms of the contemporary quarterbacks, only Joe Burrow has beaten Patrick Mahomes in the postseason in Arrowhead.
It's a huge advantage.
So if that game is there, then of course I'm rolling with the Chiefs. But if it's not, if they got to take the show on the road, I don't think it's a virtual lock like everybody is asserting. I think it's much more interesting just because of how good the Indianapolis Colts is. It's crazy to think that they have the best record in football, and yet people still don't believe that this team is as good as the standings say they are.
And I would hearken back to one thing. I feel like this is a side door theory. And what I mean by that is we've asked all season long, is somebody going to come through the front door or the back door to beat the Chiefs, meaning Baltimore or Buffalo? And we've said, could there be a side door? Like, where did you come from? And initially we thought the Chargers. And then there's been some buzz about the Broncos. The Colts have the best record. I feel like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, the entire time you have thought the teams that the Chiefs know and the teams that know the Chiefs are not going to ever be the teams that beat the Chiefs. It's going to have
because
to be,
those teams are afraid of the Chiefs.
It's going to have to be the side door team that the Chiefs are like, how did Jonathan Taylor get in the house? Where did he come from?
Yeah.
We haven't thought about him for 1 second.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's part of your thought process here. Am I right?
No, you're absolutely right. And I don't think that Patrick Mahomes has a winning record against the Indianapolis Colts. One of the rare few teams in the AFC that he doesn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really surprising.
I think he's 500 against the Colts, yeah.
Did you give a hint as to who could be number 1 in the power rankings? We will find out. I don't know. Coming up. But first, Tire Care shouldn't come with extra costs or surprise fees. It should be simple, straightforward, and stress-free. So at Midas, they're rolling out the limited lifetime tire guarantee, included with every tire purchase with paid installation. You'll pay nothing for flat repairs, nada for flat replacements, zilch for tire rotations every 5,000 miles, and 0 for other preventative maintenance. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for Tire Care. That's the limited lifetime tire guarantee only at Midas.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. Coming up Tuesday, ESPN's Buster Olney joins me in studio to talk about Dodgers Blue Jays, plus a Chiefs Commander Monday Night Football breakdown and overreaction Monday on a Tuesday. That's the Rich Eisen Show on Disney Plus, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
Tailgate season is on, and Monster Energy flavors are bringing the heat. Crack open the wickedly creamy citrus blast of Orange Dreamsicle, or ride the shockingly smooth wave of Electric Blue. Both packed with real sugar, bold flavor, and that legendary monster kick. This is the energy your game day deserves. So grab your can and unleash the beast.
The Rich Eisen Show.
If you're going to rule forward progress is stopped on somebody who has clearly fumbled the ball during the tush push, then it's truly an unstoppable play, because the number of times you could call Jalen Hurts stopped on forward progress, I'd lose track. It's just not fun to watch, and if they can't officiate it, then you got to just get rid of it.
The Rich Eisen Show, from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
I was a choir boy.
I doubt that very seriously, Paul. You're one of those that presents himself as a choir boy, and then you're the one that's hanging from the chandeliers.
All fun gone. Weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and the SEC network.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
I think the Miami Dolphins had their way. They would keep Mike McDaniel, move on from Tua Tagovailoa.
Tua is owed a lot of money in 2026. I would draft a quarterback high.
That's right.
I would still have Tua be my quarterback in 2026, so he can be that bridge gap. I know, $53 million.
Wow, that's a big old bridge.
Bridge gap quarterback.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hey guys, it's Kevin Clark from This Is Football Podcast. This week, Teron Armstead and Allen Robinson join me to break down all of the Week 8 action. That's This Is Football, wherever you get your pods.
This is an important message from the Mine Safety and Health Administration. Mining fatalities, accidents, and injuries are preventable. Taking a minute to approach your task safely can protect you and your fellow miners from injury and death. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Do it safe. Do it right. Whether buckling a seatbelt or securing equipment, these quick safety measures can prevent injuries and fatalities. Take time. Save lives. For more resources, visit MSHA.gov.
How are you? My name is Scott Van Pelt, host of SV Pod, along with my partner in crime, Stanford Steve. What do we talk about mostly on the podcast, Steve?
Sports.
Some.
Parenting?
I feel like that comes up a lot. I feel like most recently I've needed some help because I feel like my shortcomings there are evident. It's life stuff, you know, relatable content.
It's fun.
It's just two bald-headed goons just talking about nonsense a lot in a crowded podcast space. There's that one.
We're here.
Here we are.
The Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny.
Drake May, top 3 deep ball thrower in the NFL right now. I feel pretty comfortable saying he is seeing the field really well. It's not just like often with young quarterbacks when they're bombing it, it's just go balls down the sideline. And that's not the case with him. Like, he is throwing all over the field, different coverages, really good understanding of what he's seeing. And oh, by the way, he's got a cannon.
Check out the Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Freddie and Harry.
Douglas in the East Bay, my friend. What you got?
I stopped listening to sports radio until I caught you guys again, and I'm really happy to have found you. So I was a football vagabond in college, and when I was at College of Redwoods in Northern California, I had 2 teammates, one named Harry, one named Freddie. My Harry is more like you, Freddie. And my Freddie is more like you, Harry.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Amber and Ian.
Let me ask you this. Something from 30 years ago. What can you do to this day that you were able to do 30 years ago?
I can lift more now than I could 30 years ago.
I can as an old first baseman, I can still scoop one out of the dirt. And as far as anything else, I got nothing.
I could probably still run a half marathon.
I'd die at 100 yards.
Amber and Ian. Weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on Sirius XM Channel 80.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Hey, it's Reese Davis. Let's be honest, you can't keep an eye on everything unless you've got Blink Outdoor 4 cameras. While you're focused on the game, Blink's keeping an eye on your home.
With up to 2-year battery life and with Sync Module XR, you can cover more space without constant maintenance. No wires, no worries. Blink helps keep an eye on what matters most. Get Blink today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night, too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
911, what's your emergency?
A tornado's coming right at us.
ABC Thursdays, the 911 universe expands to Nashville.
How far around is that tornado? 2 miles!
From executive producer Ryan Murphy.
Get everyone you can and send them out here now!
Chris O'Donnell, Jessica Capshaw, Kimberly Williams-Paisley, Leanne Rhymes.
We are on the move!
The hell to save, kid. 911 Nashville. All new Thursdays, 9/8 Central on ABC and stream next day on Hulu.
From number 5 to number 1.
The best of the best of the best, sir.
These are the Chris Canty Power Rankings.
Yes, it's Tuesday at 6:30 on Unsportsmanlike during the football season, which means I like to rank the top 5 teams in the NFL going into the next week. So we got week 9 on deck, and these are the Chris Canty Power Rankings brought to you by SoFi. Get your money right. Before we get to the Power Rankings, she is the lovely Michelle Smallman.
Thank you so much.
I see she got the memo with the black shirt.
That's right.
My man.
Black collared shirt.
I don't know what happened to the Ocho, Evan Cohen. He usually has a sport coat on, if not a hoodie.
A crew neck today.
And most of the time he's matching us. Today he just went off script. You're doing your thing. Kind of like Patrick Mahomes.
That's right.
You're just improvising.
Maybe I'm even early and
improvising
21-0 late.
Okay, sounds good. All right. And these are, I'm the resident Super Bowl champ, and these are my power rankings. Pat Costello, let's get to it.
Number 5.
The Seattle Seahawks. Now it gets real for Seattle as they're favored in only 5 of their 10 remaining games according to our FPI. Coming off of the bye week, 3 of their next 4 opponents are on the road. The Seahawks are the number 1 rush defense, and their offense led the league in explosive plays coming into week 8. They need to clean up the turnovers and develop more balance on the offense side of the ball with the run game. If they can do those things, then Seattle will be the team to beat in the NFC West.
So I just went back and looked it up. The Seahawks were number 4 in the power rankings last week, so they dropped a spot.
Yeah, because we have a team that's new in our power rankings this week.
Oh, okay, so that's why.
They weren't in our power rankings last week.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the list from last week.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see who jumped in and jumped above Seattle.
Well, you don't have to wait too long, and I think you'll be pleased with who this team is. Number 4.
The
Green Bay Packers.
Let's go.
Dominant performance on the road in Pittsburgh in Week 8. Cowboys playoff win aside, Evan. Probably J-Lo's best performance considering the stage and who he did it against. The taking of the torch from Aaron Rodgers. He went on a run of 20 consecutive completions, tying the longest streak in a game in Packers franchise history, on his way to 360 yards passing and 3 tuds. Defensively, Jeff Hafley's group was hunting up front. They had 9 pressures, 5 quarterback hits, and 3 sacks on Aaron Rodgers, despite a 2.77 average snap-to-throw time, and only blitzing once across 39 Steelers dropbacks. Clear that at their best, the Packers have another gear that most teams just can't get to, and the Steelers found that out on Sunday Night Football.
There's also one other thing that maybe they're starting to do. The dynastic teams over the last 20 or 30 years in the NFL, the number 1 weapon for those teams has always been the tight end, and then the wide receivers complement it. If Tucker Kraft becomes his number 1 guy, and then Golden, and Watson, and Dobbs, and if Reed comes back, and all these other guys are the complementary pieces, you're dangerous at that point. If Kraft becomes his number 1 guy, which, I mean, he clearly was on Sunday night. I'm not saying Kelsey and Gronk, But I'm not saying that if I'm one Michelle Smallman, I'll tell you that much. If I'm you, I'm thinking, hey, that kind of resembles what greatness looks like, right? The tight end position is an important one for great teams. Niners were in the Super Bowl twice with this group, didn't win. Who's their number one option? Kittle. Right? Yeah. Even Debo, ball going off his face last night. You get the point. That's what I would be most excited about for Jordan Love, who I didn't know we called J-Lo.
You love you some tight ends.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
You love
huge tight end guy.
Well, I mean, if you love tight ends, then you're going to love number 3 in the power rankings.
Okay.
Number 3.
The Detroit Lions, who's head coach. My former teammate, former tight end, Dan Campbell.
Yep.
The bye week is exactly what this team needed in Week 8 to get on the other side of the cluster injuries that they had in the secondary. Both starting safeties are expected back in Week 9 against the Vikings. Quarterbacks Terrion Arnold and Avonte Maddox should be back in Week 10. And DJ Reed will be in the window to return to practice off of IR soon. If that unit gets healthy, Detroit is the best team in the NFC. They can play any style on offense. They entered Week 8 with the 3rd most explosive plays in the NFL. They have a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Aiden Hutchinson, and they have an experienced quarterback who once upon a time took a team to the Super Bowl. With the Vikings and the Commanders on deck, the Lions got a chance to stack some wins before the meat of their schedule. The Detroit Lions checking in at number 3 on this week's Power Rankings.
The Lions are very good, and they are really rounding into form at the right time, too. So much so that I'm really grateful that the Packers beat the Lions in Week 1, and they have that game in hand. Because the Lions are a huge threat to my Green Bay Packers team. They're awesome.
Are you worried about Thanksgiving?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'm just putting it out there. Make your turkey taste terrible if you catch the fade to the Detroit Lions. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm just saying. That's a big game. That's a big game.
What's amazing about your power rankings is we have Seattle 5, Green Bay 4, Detroit 3. There's 2 spots left, and I have 6 teams that I think could be in the 2 spots.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a few.
This is fascinating. Go ahead.
I know
number
one.
2.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh.
The Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes is doing Mahomes-like things again. Monday night's win against the Commanders in Week 8 marked the 3rd straight game where he threw for 3 touchdowns. The last time he did that was when Tyreek Hill was on the team back in 2021. Mahomes has thrown for 14 touchdowns over the last 5 games, which leads the league during that span. Also leading the NFL in passing yards and completions outside of the pocket. His ability to extend it down is what makes this offense so deadly. And the scary part about that is that unit isn't even the most dominant phase of the Kansas City Chiefs football team. The Kansas City Chiefs defense is top 5 in yards and points, and while they don't have gaudy numbers, what they do is suffocate opposing offenses with assignment football, top 10 in the fewest explosive plays allowed, and they're sure tacklers. They're top 3 in fewest missed tackles. Next 3 games are big. Bills, Broncos, and Colts with the bye week sandwiched in between. That stretch could very well determine who has the number 1 seed in the playoffs in the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Chiefs have to be in here after last night and what they've been doing recently. You obviously broke it down, and I love that they're in here. They deserve to be in here. I would take them over everyone still, but you did not take them over everyone because they have it. You have them at number 2.
Yeah, but there could only be one number 1.
Number 1.
The Indianapolis Colts.
Wow.
Open your ears, people, and listen. The Colts are a historically great offense. I'm going to say it again. The Colts are a historically great offense. They smoked the Titans 38-14 in Week 8. Indy has scored at least 30 points in 6 of their first 8 games this season, the most in the team's first 8 games of a season in franchise history. I don't know if you know this, but Johnny Unitas played there, Peyton Manning played there. This offense has had the most 30-point games in the first half of the season in franchise history. The Colts, 3.46 points per drive this season, second best mark of any team through the first 8 weeks of a season since 2000, trailing only the 2007 Patriots, who had 3.57 points per drive. That was the year that Tom Brady threw for 50 touchdowns. The Colts have scored either a touchdown or a field goal on 62% of their offensive drives, the highest rate by any team through the first half of the season in the last 45 seasons. The biggest reason for their success is running back Jonathan Taylor, who on Sunday logged his 4th game this season with 3+ touchdowns, the most of any player in a season since LaDainian Tomlinson, 6 during the 2006 MVP campaign. Taylor is on pace for 29 touchdowns, which will rank him 2nd all-time. If he does get to that mark and the Colts hold serve with the best record in the conference, Jonathan Taylor will be your 2025 MVP. The Indianapolis Colts are checking in at number 1 in this week's power rankings. So there it is, the Week 9 Canty Power Rankings. Indianapolis Colts number 1, Kansas City Chiefs number 2, Detroit Lions number 3, Green Bay Packers number 4, Seattle Seahawks number 5. Smalls, you are my accountability partner. Any objections, any omissions?
An objection and an omission. Ooh. And let's start here. What about the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles sitting there at 6-2? Saquon finally gets going this week. They get the revenge game against the Giants. They look like they're putting it together. They don't make the list at all. You have the Seahawks above the Eagles?
Yeah, because I don't know what's going on with A.J. Brown. And I don't know that this team can be at their best until they have some resolution on that front. Also, some of the injuries along the offensive line, something to keep an eye on. I mean, Landon Dickerson and Lane Johnson were back in the lineup, but Cam Jurgens, their all-world center, was out. Didn't seem to matter against the Giants this week, but I don't know, man. Something just seems a little off from the Eagles.
I also thought maybe the New England Patriots might get some love. 6-2, sitting atop the AFC East. Drake May, looking awesome.
I need to see more. I love the Patriots. Need to see more.
Okay.
I had 5 teams I would take over Seattle.
Okay.
Did I just name 2 of them?
No, seriously. Because these are week by week, and Seattle had a bye, so they're not as top of mind for me. I would take Tampa over them.
You can't exclude them because of a bye.
I understand, but I'm saying I would take Tampa over them. Actually, maybe more than this. I would take the Rams over them. I would take Philadelphia over them. I think there's an argument Denver over them, and I think there's an argument New England over them, and I think there's an argument Buffalo over them. Actually, 6 I would consider taking over Seattle. Now, here's the problem with that. For me, it's not trusting the quarterback in the big moments. We're not at the big moments yet. We're through these amount of games right now. Seattle's been excellent, no question. But it's very interesting where we went from part of the season early where like, hey, do we have these great teams? To now, I think we have a lot of really good teams in the league that in your mind you could make up. Could I see them making a run? Like, is it that wild to think that this team could make a run? And I think we got a bunch of those.
I also want to bring up one other point. For those who might be new to the program, thank you for joining us. We love to have you. We've been doing this for 3 seasons now. And for 2 of those 3 seasons, when CC did his power rankings on Tuesday, it was the Kansas City Chiefs, draw a line, everybody else. You have the Chiefs coming on. This offense looks awesome. Patrick Mahomes looked like vintage Patrick Mahomes. Spags in that defense never left. And you still have the Colts above them. You're not defaulting to Kansas City number 1, which is a huge, huge sign of respect for what this Colts team is doing. So I just wanted to emphasize that because, you know, CC could have gone back and said, hey, it's the Chiefs. I'm going to default to them number 1. But to have the Colts there week in and week out as number 1, I'm listening to what you're saying.
I do wonder if these power rankings on November 25th could revert back to challengers to the Chiefs. Because if the Chiefs beat the Bills, Broncos, and then Colts 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Oh, then it goes.
Then we revert. Get the old imaging back.
Then we go back to challenges to the Chiefs.
ESPN Bet has the Chiefs as the Super Bowl favorite right now at plus 500. Lions, Packers, Bills, Eagles after that. Colts not in the top 5
That's
in terms
crazy.
of ESPN. Well, we haven't seen them, this version of them, do this before, hence that. All right, 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776 is the number to jump in the Dr. Pepper call-in line. Take 1 out, put 1 on. 1 off, 1 on. CC's power rankings. You have the Colts 1, Chiefs, then Lions, then Packers, then Seahawks. Your job is to take one of them off, but you have to put another team on in that top 5. 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. We'll get your phone calls in on the Dr. Pepper call-in lines. Coming up, we're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com.
The Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny.
Drake May, top 3 deep ball thrower in the NFL right now. I feel pretty comfortable saying he is seeing the field really well. It's not just like often with young quarterbacks when they're bombing it, it's just go balls down the sideline. And that's not the case with him. Like, he is throwing all over the field, different coverages, really good understanding of what he's saying. And oh, by the way, he's got a cannon.
Check out the Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Unsportsmanlike with Evan Canty and Michelle.
Unsportsmanlike.
I'm just a little sick of them, that's all. I'm sick of them being great. You know why I'm sick of it? Because Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have been so great that he does not have a true rival. And I love rivalries in sports. I want there to be another quarterback that we can actually hold up against Patrick Mahomes, and there can be that battle for greatness. And right now we don't have it. So I have a little bit of Chiefs fatigue. Yes, I do. Like, stop being so great. It's annoying.
Walked in, walked out with us.
I'm pretty sure that was from 3 years ago.
It was. That was from
Which I love.
3 years
I don't think
ago.
there's ever a point of our stuff on our show we shouldn't bring back. So I think it's a great job by Pat and Cam and Nuno and Javante to bring that back. But just so people understand, that's not off of the Monday night game last night. That's
3
off
years
of like
ago.
a random preseason game 3 years ago that she got annoyed with this.
Daniel Jones, save us.
Oh, boy. 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Your telephone number to join us on the Dr. Pepper call-in line. If you're just tuning in, you missed our conversation, which we will continue to have about the Dodgers.
The Raptors?
Well, that was off the air.
The Raptors stink.
And the Pelicans gave away their first-round pick this year, and they haven't won a game. That's for unsportsmanlike after dark, after dark, after dark, when we're asleep and nobody's watching nor listening, where CC and I will have that conversation. Anyway, the Dodgers and the Blue Jays last night, or a few hours ago, 18 innings, 6-hour, 39-minute game. Shohei Ohtani, no big deal, got on base 9 times. He got on base 9 times in one baseball game, and he's pitching tonight.
If you're on base that much, do they make you pay rent? Like in the game, like, do you have to?
You're a squatter.
2 homers, 2 doubles, 5 walks, 4 intentional.
You're a lot.
1 on, 1 off. CC's power rankings: Indy 1, Kansas City 2, Detroit 3, Green Bay 4, Seattle 5. Smalls and I both took Seattle off, and we had like 5 or 6 teams we would put on, but let's hear from you. Tim in Nebraska, listening on 590 AM in Nebraska. Morning, Tim.
Hey, morning, guys.
Morning.
So here's the deal. Canty, I love you. I love your guys' show. I listen to it all the time. But I called in after Canty didn't even want to have Mahomes in his top 5 because at that point in time, Kansas City had gotten beat by both the Chargers and the Eagles. The point that I'm going to try to make is you guys can take out the Chiefs and you can put anybody else in there because you guys are not going to be allowed to just slide the Chiefs in when all of a sudden they're playing good. If you're going to doubt them at the beginning of the season, then doubt them throughout the season and wait till we see where we are at the end of the playoffs. That's all I'm going to say, guys. Don't be Chiefs bandwagon guys. Jump on them early because they are the team. I'm telling you guys, in the modern day, what Kansas City's doing is more impressive than what New England did. This is the best dynasty the NFL has ever put together. I rest my case.
Oh, you're gonna
You didn't make your case, Tim. I mean, first of all, I've never said that Patrick Mahomes isn't a top 5.
Literally not once ever.
I've never said that. Now, the Chiefs haven't been in my top 5 because they started the season 0-2, and I think they were 1-3 or whatever it was. So, yeah, I had plenty of reason to doubt, especially after that Monday night game, the way that it ended with Chris Jones loafing while Trevor Lawrence is literally running the ball into the end zone.
We thought maybe attrition. They've been to the Super Bowl 3 seasons in a row. That has a compiling effect.
Exactly. And you typically don't see teams have this type of dominance where they're in the Final Four for 6 consecutive years. It typically just doesn't happen. So, yeah, I think there was plenty of reasons to be skeptical about whether or not the Chiefs, this version of the Kansas City Chiefs could get back to where we saw them, especially with how last year ended with them getting boat raced by the Eagles in Super Bowl 59.
Also, let me put context for those just tuning in that don't understand, which is not your fault. It's my fault. I should put better context on this. The power rankings. They are not a top 5 teams that CC thinks could win the Super Bowl
during that season. It's the top 5 teams, the way they're playing in the week that he's releasing the list.
Correct.
Right, so the Chiefs 0-2, if we said, okay, now release your top 5 teams you think could win the Super Bowl, at 0-2, my guess is Kansas City would have still been in there. But through 2 weeks of the current season that we are living in, that is why the Chiefs were not in the power rankings. Now, to the other point, to say that they're more impressive than the Pats when they've won so much less for less years than New England, that's insane. Like, I don't even think Mahomes and Reed would say that they're more impressive than the Pats. The Pats did this over 20 years.
Can I ask you a question? Did Tom Brady ever get embarrassed in a Super Bowl the way that Patrick Mahomes got embarrassed by the Eagles?
Was Tom Brady ever a part of a BTA in a Super Bowl? I don't think so.
I just love that you guys.
I'm just putting it out there. The greatest modern day dynasty ever. Let's pump the brakes here. Okay,
we got about 15 years.
There are several dominant dynasties in the history of the NFL since the merger. The Chiefs are absolutely in the mix with those historically great teams. But let's not say that the Chiefs are sitting above all of those all-time greats.
They had their fast-forward button. They could have pressed the fast-forward button.
Come on, man. The Pittsburgh Steelers with Terry Bradshaw, the Dallas Cowboys with the triplets, the San Francisco 49ers with Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. Like, come on, man. Like, there's some all-time great teams. Like, let's chill out with just saying that the Chiefs are the best.
Bob in Minnesota, listening on 1500 in Mini. Morning, Bob.
Good morning. How you doing?
What's going on?
I'm calling. I'm taking Seattle off, and I'm putting Denver on. And I got a question for you, Mr. Canty. 2 weeks ago, you had Denver third. They beat the Giants. They're off, and now they wall up the Cowboys, and they're still off. I don't understand that.
I don't trust the quarterback. Does that make it simple enough for you? They were dominant against the Dallas Cowboys, but the first possession of the game on an RPO, Bo Nix throws a pick. And it was an off-target throw. Completely errant. I don't trust the version of Bo Nix you're going to get week to week. Hell, quarter to quarter. So when we start talking about the power rankings and the trust factor and all of those different things, that is my biggest issue with the Denver Broncos. And I just need to see more consistency from the quarterback before I jump in the deep end with Denver.
Jonathan in Georgia, listening on 95.7 in Georgia. Morning, Jonathan.
Yeah, just remove Seattle. Not that they're a bad team. I just think Tampa Bay's better, and you could switch the list number-wise if you want to. They've beaten Seattle in Seattle, and as much as Canty, which I respect, you take away from teams because you don't think they're whole, I completely understand that. But I think you also have to give credit to teams like Tampa Bay and like you have Detroit, who are very banged up. They continue to win games and beat good teams.
I think that is a very fair argument.
Tampa, right? The version of Tampa that beat Seattle is not the same version of Tampa here today because of the injuries. So I think that's a part of the math too, right? All of the injuries that the Tampa Bay Bucks are dealing with on both sides of the ball, it makes it hard for me to continue to have faith in them. I just think you get to a point where attrition takes a toll, and you saw that a little bit in that second half against the Detroit Lions in Week 7. So I'm not saying that I'm all the way out on Tampa. I still think they walk away with that division. But in terms of being one of the top 5 teams in the NFL, the injuries scare me.
Coming up, what in the world is going on with the quarterback situation in the NFL? We will discuss next. We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on October 2nd, 1993, when the University of California faced a 30-0 halftime deficit to Oregon. Cal went on a remarkable 42-11 run in the second half to capture a 42-41 victory, one of the largest comebacks in college football history.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
They say a full marathon is the ultimate test. For me, it's more than a race. It's a milestone I once thought impossible. Michelle Smallman here, and I'm running my very first marathon in New York City with the support of Gainbridge and Gainbridge Assist, powered by Parity. Together, we're empowering girls and women through sports and education, with grants to 32 organizations in 21 states. Every step I take is for the finish line and for the next generation chasing their dreams. Here's to 26.2 miles and a future with no limits.
ESPN presents
Welcome to the NHL Frozen Frenzy.
All 32 teams.
What a night of hockey for the fans.
16 games, one night.
Every single minute of every game.
The NHL Frozen Frenzy presented by AstraZeneca. Penguins Flyers at 6 Eastern. Then Capital Stars and Kings Sharks on ESPN and the ESPN app. And whip around coverage begins at 6 tonight on ESPN Plus, ESPN2, Disney Plus, and the ESPN app.
How are you? My name's Scott Van Pelt, host of SV Pod, along with my partner in crime, Stanford Steve. What do we talk about mostly on the podcast, Steve?
Sports.
Some.
Parenting.
I feel like that comes up a lot. I feel like most recently I've needed some help because I feel like my shortcomings there are evident. It's life stuff, you know, relatable content.
It's fun.
It's just two bald-headed goons just talking about nonsense a lot in a crowded podcast space. There's that one. We're here. Here we are.
Amber and Ian.
If I'm ordering a slice, if I'm just ordering at the restaurant or it gets delivered, hell no with a fork. Now, when I reheat my pizza, there's a little olive oil in the pan. You get the crust crispy again. That's going to be really hot. It's going to burn the top of your mouth. That's when I go fork and knife, and I'm eating it with a fork.
If you eat pizza with utensils, you should be put in prison.
Amber and Ian. Weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And ESPN Radio Extra Point with Rich Eisen.
The Ravens come up with that win. Lamar, looks like we're going to see him in Miami to kick off week 9 on Thursday. And then after that, 2 more on the road in a row at Minnesota. And they're at Cleveland, home for the Jets. Then they get Cincinnati twice around the first of 2 games against Pittsburgh. All right. You can make some hay right there. You can go on a nice run. And guess what you can do? You can win the division. They still have their games against Cincinnati and Pittsburgh right in front of them, and 1 more against Cleveland. And they are only 2 back. And Lamar's coming back. Look out. It's there. It's there in the ether. Can they make it work? Can they make it happen? They've dug themselves a hole where the margin for error is small. It's right there, but they have to win the games we expect them to win, and not lose the games that we don't expect them to lose, like they did in falling to 1-5.
Your fantasy roster is set. The Smack Talk is heating up, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing the ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Download the app and link your ESPN Bet and ESPN accounts to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Coach Saban here, and let me tell you, every second matters. Preparation is everything, and that's why I trust Kidde Smoke Alarms.
And as North America's #1 home fire safety brand, they're built to respond over 25% faster to smoke detection. Kidde helps protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. #1 claim based on total household installations as of December 2023. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidde 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition products.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Why wouldn't you, just to see if it does anything to the offense, give him an opportunity to go in there and play?
Obviously, my focus is where we are right now, Mary Kay. That's not my focus.
It will be a travesty if you go through this entire season and you do not give Shedeur Sanders a 4 or 5 game sample size to be able to showcase what he can do.
The Browns seem very dedicated to not having Shedeur Sanders on the field, and you're not giving him a fair shake when it is pretty clear that you cannot do any worse than you're doing right now.
Here on ESPN Radio. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. You can be a part of Unsportsmanlike Nation on the Dr. Pepper call-in line at 888-SAY-ESPN. ESPN Nation presented by Dr. Pepper. It's on college football season without the delicious taste of an ice cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. Somewhat of a manufactured, by design, by your own admission, QB controversy that's going on in Cleveland, which we will get to in just a second. I just want to point out that CC and I started screaming just now, moments ago, because we were watching highlights of the Spurs last night. And
I was watching a little bit of that game during the halftime of Monday Night Football.
Of course you were.
I just checked it.
I mean,
he's must-see TV.
Got the league pass, man. Got to take advantage of it.
You had 3 must-see TV guys on last night.
Ohtani, Mahomes, and Wemby?
Yes.
No doubt.
Think about it.
No doubt.
You had 3 must-see TV guys on last night. Let me run through this quickly here because it all need addressing, right? And we talked about them during the first hour of the show. If you missed it, shame on you. Go back on the podcast where you can get it whenever you want, available on the ESPN app. I said Wemby, that CC and I were screaming. We watched a play where somehow he drop-stepped without the ball at the free throw line.
Reverse pivot, drop step, lob.
Like the quickest thing you'll ever see in your life. This guy is utterly insane. Okay, that's number one. Number two, Mahomes. We mentioned it was not good in the first half for him. The Commanders were fine in the first half. In the second half, the Chiefs do what the Chiefs do, and they win 28-7. And the Chiefs are now 5-3. Look out! Here comes the Bills game this weekend. The other thing. The World Series ended about an hour ago, and I'm not actually kidding. It was not that long ago. A 6-hour, 39-minute game. 6-hour, 39-minute game, 18 innings. The Dodgers are up 2-1 in the series after a 6-5 win in 18 innings last night on a Freddie Freeman walk-off home run, which is what Freddie Freeman does. He did it last year. He did it again this year. But the storyline is Ohtani. 4 for 4, 2 homers, 2 doubles, 5 walks, 4 of them intentionally, and the 5 walks all came after the 7th inning. Now, he didn't score a run after that. So I would actually make the argument that it worked for the Blue Jays. CC has made the argument they got lucky last night that it worked. You can't keep doing this. You can't go Bonds on him because of the lineup behind him. Smalls and I are saying, you know what? You're better off just walking him to start the game tonight, which, oh, by the way, he gets on base 9 times last night. They win 2-1 in the World Series, and he's the starting pitcher this evening.
Yeah.
In a game right here on ESPN Radio, beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern.
I was writing it down for all the small things later. Game 4. The start time is less than 17 hours from the last pitch of last night's game. Or I guess you should say this morning's game.
Yeah. And I don't know if they should pitch to him at all. I would not pitch to him the rest of the series.
That one's so hard for me. I initially thought the same thing as you, Evan, because the Cardinals had a situation in 2013 where Big Papi single-handedly crushed them, and they just kept throwing it in there to them, and everyone was screaming at Mike Matheny, like, why are you pitching to him? Just walk him. But then I also think back to my favorite baseball game, my favorite sporting event I've ever seen in my entire life, Game 6, 2011 World Series, where the Rangers intentionally walk Albert Pujols. They're like, we're not going to let him beat us. Lance Berkman gets on base. David Freese is the hero. And so I think, yes, you can try to pitch around him, but you have so many guys in this Dodgers lineup that can be the hero night in and night out.
But it worked last night. Technically, it worked last night.
Do you take any solace if you're a Jays fan that you're losing to the best player in the sport?
No.
And a payroll that's $500 million?
No.
No? Okay.
No,
you just got a Michelle Smallman disgusted reaction like I normally get.
What about the fact that this series is a lot more competitive than the experts thought it would be?
You think that anyone in Toronto went to bed last night and they're like, well, at least we lost to the best player we'll ever see. No, they're devastated.
Oh, they are?
An 18-inning game, and how many guys did they strand on base? 18, 19?
19.
19 guys they left hanging out there on base. You had 19 runners in scoring position that you could not bring home. You think they feel good about that because Ohtani's the best baseball player we've ever seen? Because the Dodgers have an unbelievably robust financial commitment to this team? No. They don't feel good at all.
Does it make it more painful?
They're dispirited. It's miserable.
Okay.
They're going to maybe throw a little something in their coffee this morning to get through the day. That's how bad they feel this morning. Listen. I have seen a team be down to their final strike twice and come back and win the World Series. But momentum is everything in this game.
No doubt.
After Freddie Freeman walks it off last night, these teams have to turn around and less than 17 hours later get back out there and play.
So you think it's over?
Well, I'm just thinking if I'm a Blue Jays player, how exhausted are you after that game? Physically, mentally, emotionally? It's very hard to come down from things like that. You're going to go home. You're going to try to get some shut-eye. You're probably rolling into the park later today. You're tired. Your body hurts. Emotionally, maybe you feel defeated. It's really hard to bounce back from something like that.
So what you're saying is Dodgers on the money line for Game 4.
I'm rolling with them.
Ooh.
ESPN bet responsibly.
I would love it. I mean, think about it, though. You lose an 18-inning marathon, and then on top of that, you lose your most clutch hitter in George Springer.
We didn't even bring that up.
What a night. I mean, the sport, what is it? The sports, Equinox.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was going to say equator, that makes no sense. That would not be good. Anyway, okay.
It was a lot of hot performances.
Well done, Smalls. Still got it over there. Training for the marathon, taking a lot out of you.
She's trying to help you out, sir.
I mean, you're the one that said
I was about to say, she's helping you, sir.
So yesterday,
thank you, Susan.
Of course, we have all these great things. There's only one team that seemingly can find a way to
I just love
mess
that
it up.
bad things are happening to the Blue Jays. I just love it.
I
just love it.
One guy in particular.
I asked the question, but I knew the answer. I just love that bad things are happening to them in sports and nobody else.
I'm anti-Canada.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, definitely.
Wow. Interesting.
You know, one more thing about baseball, just really quickly. I'm the biggest Dodgers hater on this show, no?
Yes, you hate the Dodgers.
I'm rooting for them.
You despise how they're trying to build their baseball team.
I respect it, but I hate it because my team will never be it, and there's a competitive disadvantage in baseball because of the resources that they elect to use.
So you just hate them because you ain't them.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Okay, got it.
Even me, the biggest Dodgers hater on this show, is so impressed by this team. They're so difficult to dislike. How can you dislike Freddie Freeman?
You can't.
How can you dislike Mookie Betts?
You can't.
You know I love Tommy Edman. That's my guy.
Yes.
How can you dislike Shohei Ohtani?
That's interesting. Do you think people do?
No.
But
think about this.
I think people root for him to fail.
You do? See, I don't. I think more people are in awe of him.
That's a fascinating question.
I think people root for him to fail.
So he's
maybe the
crossed that line now.
Dodgers. No, you know what's interesting? Brady, villain. Mahomes, people think they're like annoyed with his success.
Can't be a villain with that voice.
Well, but people find the Chiefs' success grating. You know, they're
people. That's you.
There's a lot of people behind me.
You're people. You're the people in this case.
And there's a lot of people behind me. LeBron. A lot of people hate on LeBron. Evan is the captain of that fan club. I don't know if people out there really hate Shohei Ohtani. Maybe you're jealous because he's not on your team. Not even the translator gambling scandal could derail him. I just think most people, I'm a huge Dodgers hater. I should hate him. And I am so in awe of what I am witnessing game in and game out with this guy. I cannot hate him at all.
Has there ever been a player this deep in his career, any sport, that is still in the honeymoon phase? Like Wemby's still in the honeymoon phase. No one dislikes Wemby.
There's a novelty to Wemby, right? This is third year, exactly. It's new. So with Ohtani,
how many years in are we? 8?
Yeah, almost a decade.
He played with the Angels for what, 6 seasons?
Yeah, 2017, 2018 when he played.
Nuno just brought up something in my ear. Are we in the honeymoon phase though because he wasted away for 6 years with the Angels and no one paid attention to them?
Like so you're saying we're actually in year 2 or 3, whatever it is?
He won an MVP with the Angels. I'm not going to say that.
Right, but how many of those games were we checking for?
2 with the Angels.
Yeah, he won 2 MVPs.
Right, but how many of those games were we actually watching? We never 0 postseason wins.
I'm going to tell you how many. Let me look at my notes. Never.
Exactly. That's my whole point. So he's winning MVPs, but he's not in our purview.
So mean.
No, I'm just not going to lie to the audience. I'm not sitting here watching Angels games.
No one is.
We have a lot of games we're going to watch. The Angels are not on top of the list.
You watched the Angels to watch Ohtani.
No, I did not.
Maybe
you
once.
You can tell me I did, but I did not.
You checked in to see Ohtani hit and pitch.
I still haven't read
once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon. But maybe we are in the honeymoon phase with him because he's finally on a contender and we're seeing him in the postseason be great. All-time great.
But the honeymoon phase, see, sometimes we get to the honeymoon phase where you realize, you know what, a player is not as big as we think that player is because we don't start hating on them, which is sick. Go ahead.
Steph Curry.
People absolutely hate on Steph Curry.
Who hates Steph?
ESPN Cleveland. And he's technically born in Akron, same place, the same hospital as LeBron. I don't know. They don't claim him. They hate on the Warriors.
I think more people love Steph than hate.
Hospital.
You're going to say to your wife when you get home, I know you're pregnant and we're planning on this New York hospital. We're going to Akron.
I need the name of that hospital.
I'm not kidding. Steph, right? Rob? Steph and LeBron, same hospital, I think.
Really? Hold on, let me find out.
I'm pretty sure.
My son's going to be born
in
Ohio.
What?
Just say it.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Oh, Steph Curry.
They were born in the same hospital in Akron. Akron City Hospital.
There we go. Akron City Hospital. Here we go.
See you next break. Hi, honey. I know we have it planned for this New York hospital coming up in a month. We need to make a trip to Akron. I'm sorry, why is that? Well, Steph and LeBron were born in the same hospital, so our son's going to be born there. Whether you like it or not, or whether you know the doctors or not. That's where we're going.
That's
Guaranteed
where we're going.
greatness.
There you go. Get Rob Lorenzo to hook us up with an apartment. We headed to Cleveland, baby.
Steph and James Harden both made their NBA debuts today, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
Steph's a good one. Still in the honeymoon phase, Steph Curry. I do think there's way more hate for him. But
you think there's way more hate for Ohtani?
No. I'm saying way more hate for Steph Curry than Ohtani, yeah. Which I don't get. I will never understand that. But
I mean, think about it. Just a couple of weeks ago, our very own Pat Costello wanted to take Ohtani to task because he wasn't performing well in the postseason. Yeah. Couldn't wait to jump on that one and say, yeah, we need to talk more about Ohtani coming up small in the postseason when their team is championship or bust. Couldn't wait to talk about it.
Can I ask you a question off of that, though? Excuse me? Is Ohtani not as big as we think he is because there is no hate? Because you cross that line of superstardom, inevitably, unfortunately, tragically, honestly, we build someone up just to tear them down.
Yeah.
We're not trying to tear him down, thankfully.
No.
So is he not as big as I think he is?
I don't know if it says more about Ohtani. I don't know if it's a referendum on him or the sport itself.
Huh.
Like, I think that becomes the challenge. Like, is it that we don't feel a way about him just because we're not checking in on baseball the way that we once did, especially with NFL and NBA tipping off last week? Or is it just a matter of not really having a connection to the personality that is Shohei Ohtani, not being able to have more insight to who he is as a person?
Oh, that's a good one because
as a person
language,
and just knowing him as a player.
Yeah,
that's it right there.
Used to the United States,
he's not saying things that could potentially be viewed as inflammatory or upset people.
Yeah, the most we've heard him say was on a New Balance commercial.
That's right.
Yeah, we got next. That's what we got.
Yeah,
I think he's got now. I don't think it's next anymore. I think it's right now, and I think he's unbelievable in what he's done. 3 must-watch guys.
That's crazy. I mean, we're talking about 3 of the most dominant athletes that we've ever seen in our lifetime.
All played
last night.
What? You hate them all, right?
No, I don't hate
You're mad at the Dodgers.
How
You're mad
hate Wemby?
I hate Wemby. I don't hate Wemby.
When is she going to start getting mad at the Spurs is the real question here.
I love Wemby.
How do you hate the Spurs?
We're talking about personality. I love Wemby's personality. I think he's so fascinating. I read a lot about him. He's a very interesting guy.
Give it time.
He's got a little je ne sais quoi.
He's got a je ne sais quoi. He's very, he's got a lot of interests. You always talk about
Very
this.
fashionable.
Very fashionable. He is built for this moment. He is built for this.
We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
From the first pitch of the wild card.
The pitch. It's a total different atmosphere. This is the best part of baseball.
He's done again!
Until a World Series champion is crowned.
And the Dodgers are World Series champions!
Hear every pitch of Major League Baseball's postseason. Right here on ESPN Radio.
This college football season, show your school spirit every time you pay. Introducing college-branded Venmo debit cards. Rep your team on and off the field with custom school designs that let everyone know who you root for. Whether you're tailgating, grabbing snacks for the watch party, or celebrating a win, you can unlock 15% cash back at ESPN. 1 free year of Perplexity Pro and more. This college football season, score more with the Venmo debit card. Get yours now in the Venmo app. Learn more at Venmo.com/collegecard.
Max cashback varies. Terms apply. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank, N.A.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing a house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
And ESPN Radio Extra Point with Rich Eisen.
The Ravens come up with that win. Lamar, looks like we're going to see him in Miami to kick off week 9 on Thursday. And then after that, 2 more on the road in a row at Minnesota. And they're at Cleveland, home for the Jets. Then they get Cincinnati twice around the first of 2 games against Pittsburgh. All right. You can make some hay right there. You can go on a nice run. And guess what you can do? You can win the division. They still have their games against Cincinnati and Pittsburgh right in front of them, and 1 more against Cleveland. And they are only 2 back. And Lamar's coming back. Look out. It's there. It's there in the ether. Can they make it work? Can they make it happen? They've dug themselves a hole where the margin for error is small. It's right there, but they have to win the games we expect them to win, right, and not lose the games that we don't expect them to lose, like they did in falling to 1-5.
What's up, kiddos? Clinton Yates here. Coming up on Tuesday, the Dodgers protect home field and beat the Blue Jays. How can Toronto regroup? We'll break it all down Tuesday on Clinton and Friends at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Saturday, tune into SEC Network for a full day of SEC football coverage, starting at 9 a.m. with Marty and McGee and SEC Nation. Then, it's an SEC afternoon doubleheader, followed by SEC Saturday night under the lights. Later, break down the day's action with SEC football final postgame. All-day SEC football coverage begins Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on SEC Network and stream on the all-new ESPN app.
Hey, it's Greg McElroy, the Always College Football Podcast. Check out our current episode where we do our 10 takeaways from Week 7 of the college football season. Download it anywhere you get your podcasts.
The NBA on ESPN is happening now. Stop playing on me right now. The Cavs are running it back. While the Celtics build around one. We know Luka brings the magic.
We are in the Church of Doncic. Hallelujah.
But in Minnesota, it's Ant-Man's show.
Anthony Edwards writing his own story.
The NBA on ESPN, presented by State Farm. Cavaliers, Celtics at 7 Eastern. Lakers, Timberwolves at 10. And Inside the NBA, Wednesday on ESPN.
Amber Indian.
1995 AL MVP Mo Vaughn joins us here on Amber Indian. The last time we talked to you, Mo, you were feeling pretty bummed about your Dallas Cowboys. How you feeling these days?
I think they're messing with me, man, like they always do. They get me all charged up. Yo, we're running up.
Mo, do you bite your fingernails?
No.
Guess what? You're about to start because they're going to be worn to the nub by the time the season's over with.
Amber Indian, weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on SiriusXM Channel 80. This is Unsportsmanlike.
Why wouldn't you give him an opportunity to go in there and play?
Obviously, my focus is where we are right now.
It would be a travesty if you do not give Shedeur Sanders a 4 or 5 game sample size to be able to showcase what he can do.
We are Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio. ESPN2, we are presented by Progressive Insurance. Yesterday, Kevin Stefanski, head coach of the Cleveland Browns, heading into their bye week, had this to say about their backup quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, and why he hasn't given him an opportunity despite the injury this past week so far.
He obviously came in Saturday with his back injury. We were hopeful that he'd be able to move around well enough to suit up on Sunday, but put him through a pregame warm-up, and obviously just didn't feel like he was ready to play Mary Kay, but he's getting better every day, and I'm hopeful that he'll continue to improve.
And if I can ask a super quick follow-up on that, why wouldn't you, just to see if it does anything to the offense, give him an opportunity to go in there and play?
Yeah, obviously my focus is where we are right now, Mary Kay. That's not my focus.
What's going on? What's going on in Cleveland? Anybody have an explanation?
I don't. Smalls?
The way I interpreted it, they're not ready to move on from Dylan Gabriel. They don't think the sample size is large enough. They're going to continue to go with him. They don't think Shedeur is ready.
That's a good answer. Did they give that answer?
No.
Why not? That seems like an unbelievably fair answer. Maybe not the one that the fans and media wants to hear, or those fans of Shedeur, right, in Colorado or anywhere else that want their star player to play. But that seems like an insanely fair answer. We picked a quarterback in the 3rd round. We went to him early. 4 or 5 games is not enough of a sample size. We want to give him an opportunity to play, and we do not believe anyone else is ready to play. We may not like that answer, but that seems fair.
And it's a definitive answer.
Well, you said nobody else is ready to play. Are we sure Dylan Gabriel's ready to play based on what we've seen already?
So what do you think is going on here?
I have no idea, but I'm willing to see what's behind door number 3. I'm willing to make a change for change's sake. Because what I've gotten over the last 4 games with Dylan Gabriel is a guy that I have serious questions about whether or not he's an NFL quarterback. Seriously.
So what does Kevin Stefanski want out of this?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out whether or not Kevin Stefanski wants to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Because to continue to stay the course with Dylan Gabriel based on the body of work that we've gotten just doesn't make any sense to me. It's nonsensical. Dylan Gabriel is absolutely awful. I mean, you're talking about a quarterback that is small, he lacks escapability, and he's got a noodle arm. Not exactly the combination that you're looking for when it comes to trying to elevate your team. If we didn't have enough evidence, what he did on Sunday, the 2 turnovers in the third quarter, absolutely egregious. And then, oh, by the way, backed up in the end zone, you get an intentional grounding for a safety. One of the most embarrassing moments that we've seen from any quarterback in Cleveland. Just to contextualize what we've seen from Dylan Gabriel, his 25.8 QBR is actually worse than the QBRs of Deshaun Kaiser and Kevin Hogan in the 2017 season when Cleveland went 0-16.
Oof.
Let that sink in.
Oof.
It's as bad as it can get. Dylan Gabriel is a limited player at the quarterback position. He puts a ceiling on whatever your offense is capable of doing. Not that the offense was lighting it up with Joe Flacco as the quarterback, but it's gotten worse with Dylan Gabriel as your guy. And at some point, you have to move on just for change's sake, if for no other reason, to give hope to the other 52 guys in the locker room that maybe something can change. Maybe we can find a way to run into something.
To give hope and to also determine definitively what you have in that quarterback room. You're not turning the season around at this point, unfortunately.
No.
So isn't your best bet moving forward at some point to see what you have in Shedeur so that you are as informed as you can be heading into this year's draft?
So today is Tuesday.
Yes.
We have our first spring training moment of the day per Cam Pratt, CP3.
Oh.
What do we mean? Spring training Tuesdays, we refer to Canty getting ready for first take, and we have to point out when he uses stuff that's really for first take on this show to test it out. Cam is reporting that the Kevin Hogan Deshaun Kaiser comparison is really for first take and not this show.
That's not true.
Wow! All for one from Vegas East.
That's not in the notes that I sent back to first take yesterday.
I would add it. That's a very good note.
No.
It's a very good stat.
I am going to add it.
It's a very good stat. I would add it.
That was for this show.
Wow.
That was for this
Wait,
show.
Vegas
so
East.
Are we the major
one.
leagues now?
Yeah.
Well, does it count if he then uses it later anyway?
Yeah, no, it has to be prepped for that.
If it's not in my first take notes, then it's not me.
These were
first take
sportsmanlike.
No, wait a minute.
Show.
Wait a minute. Spring training is working out the stuff for the regular season. So is he trying that here? I don't know. All right.
He's
Gray
trying
area.
a new batting stance.
Gray area. I don't know.
No, I'm going to give it to CC on this one.
Okay.
This was the stat
So it's-
for unsportsmanlike that hit very well that he's now going to use for first take.
Got it. Okay. Let me go back to one thing.
What's up?
When you said Kevin Stefanski, I'm not even sure he wants to be the coach of the Cleveland Browns. What do you mean by that? I mean, I know that sounds clear, but I'd like you to elaborate on what that means. NFL, breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, there are only 32 of these jobs.
Yeah.
Voluntarily not wanting to have one of them only usually happens for someone that, like Andy Reid, if he's like, I'm good, I'm going to walk away, I don't need this anymore, I'm a first ballot Hall of Famer. Not Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, I don't think I'm breaking news when I say that I don't think everybody in the organization is on the same page in terms of what's happening around the quarterbacks, right? Mm-hmm. Because if they were, then we wouldn't have seen how clunky it was throughout the preseason, all of the inferences that they would keep 4 different quarterbacks on the active roster. Remember, they traded for Kenny Pickett only to trade him away at the end of the preseason. Shedeur Sanders as the backup quarterback a couple of weeks ago, officially after they moved on from Joe Flacco, only to not get any first-team reps in practice, knowing that he's one hit away from being in the game. It seems clunky. And so when I asked the question of whether or not Kevin Stefanski wants to be there, the context around it is the versus that is seemingly set up between the 2 rookie quarterbacks and who's most responsible for those guys being in their respective positions. When we had Mel Kiper on a few weeks ago, he said that the thought around the NFL was that Dylan Gabriel was Kevin Stefanski's guy and that Shedeur Sanders was Andrew Berry's guy. And so if you continue to stay the course with Dylan Gabriel as bad as he's been and you don't put in Shedeur Sanders, if you don't give him an opportunity, I just wonder how long Kevin Stefanski is for the head coaching job in Cleveland.
Coming up, Dan Graziano, ESPN NFL insider, analyst, and reporter, will join us with more on this and go around the league with him next. We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
This is ESPN Radio.
Chris Canty, he's phenomenal on radio in the morning. He's must-listen-to radio in the morning.
On your radio, your computer, your smart speaker, or on the ESPN app.
Something's happened to him. I would look at somebody like Chris Canty and say he needs to be drug tested immediately.
We're everywhere you are. This is ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Desmond Howard. You want to win the weekend? It all starts with the tailgate. And for me, that means Kingsford Charcoal.
They've been bringing the flavor, the smoke, and the heat since 1920. No wonder they're still the gold standard of grilling. So fire it up, feed your crew, and let the smoke do the talking. Kingsford, the king of the tailgate. Get it today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Hey, did you miss Clinton and Friends?
The Blue Jays and the Dodgers is the best possible matchup for the World Series. Let's be real about this. The Blue Jays play a brand of baseball that I enjoy tremendously. They take a lot of extra bags. They're a slick fielding team, and they've got Bo Bichette coming back. Mm-hmm. This could actually be a series, y'all. This is not going to be the wash that I think Dodgers-Mariners would have been.
Clinton and Friends, weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Early on, I did not believe in the Kansas City Chiefs, but I take it back. I believe in the Kansas City Chiefs. They are full arsenal. They have everyone at their disposal. They have everyone that they need, from receivers to running backs, definitely quarterback, tight ends. Right. They have the defensive player. They got the coach as well, and Andy Reid.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. The Baseball Tonight podcast.
I was at that Game 5. That crowd at T-Mobile Park was amazing. It was the loudest that I've ever heard a ballpark.
The Baseball Tonight podcast is on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts. The Rich Eisen Show.
The Giants, there's reason to be excited to watch this team. There's reason for it, okay? Enjoy that. Enjoy that, because the co-tenants are taking impressionable young children.
I hate this team.
And making them stare into the abyss about why they even exist on the planet.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
How's business?
Good. Are you up to speed with the new beneficial ownership reporting requirements?
Sort of. What's it about?
It's a new initiative to help fight crimes like money laundering, fraud, and drug trafficking. A lot of small businesses like ours just have to report some basic info to the federal government about the real people behind them.
Reporting your company's beneficial ownership information is quick, secure, and free. And it helps protect U.S. national security. Learn more at fincen.gov/BOI.
What's up, kiddos? Clinton Yates here. Coming up on Tuesday, the Dodgers protect home field and beat the Blue Jays. How can Toronto regroup? We'll break it all down Tuesday on Clinton and Friends at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
How are you? My name's Scott Van Pelt, host of SV Pod, along with my partner in crime, Stanford Steve. What do we talk about mostly on the podcast, Steve?
Sports.
Some.
Parenting.
I feel like that comes up a lot. I feel like most recently I've needed some help because I feel like my shortcomings there are evident. It's life stuff, you know, relatable content.
It's fun.
It's just two bald-headed goons just talking about nonsense a lot in a crowded podcast space. There's that one. We're here. Here we are.
The Baseball Tonight podcast.
I was at that Game 5. That crowd at T-Mobile Park was amazing. It was the loudest that I've ever heard a ballpark.
The Baseball Tonight podcast is on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Saturday, tune into SEC Network for a full day of SEC football coverage, starting at 9 a.m. with Marty and McGee and SEC Nation. Then, it's an SEC afternoon doubleheader, followed by SEC Saturday night under the lights. Later, break down the day's action with SEC football final postgame. All-day SEC football coverage begins Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on SEC Network and stream on the all-new ESPN app.
This is Harry Douglas, and coming up Tuesday, Raiders All-Everything running back Ashton Jeanty will join the show. Plus, I tell you which division leader I trust the least. It's Freddie and Harry, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
The Fantasy Focus Football Podcast.
DJ Turner, who kind of quietly has emerged as a every week shadow corner, but he has shadowed Travis Hunter. He had 5 points. Justin Jefferson, 12.5. So he did a nice job there.
Check it out on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Hey, it's Reese Davis. Let's be honest, we can't keep an eye on everything unless you've got Blink Outdoor 4 cameras. While you're focused on the game, Blink's keeping an eye on your home.
With up to 2-year battery life and with Sync Module XR, you can cover more space without constant maintenance. No wires, no worries. Blink helps keep an eye on what matters most. Get Blink today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
911, what's your emergency?
A tornado. It's coming right at us.
ABC Thursdays, the 911 universe expands to Nashville.
How far out is that tornado? 2 miles.
From executive producer Ryan Murphy.
Get everyone you can and send them out here now.
Chris O'Donnell, Jessica Capshaw, Kimberly Williams-Paisley, Leanne Rhymes.
We're on the move.
The hell to stay, kid.
911 Nashville. All new Thursdays, 9/8 Central on ABC and stream next day on Hulu. This is Unsportsmanlike.
Y'all did that because you're black.
We are Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2. We are presented by Progressive Insurance.
Why do you look uncomfortable right now? What are you doing?
I don't know. Jason McCourty's on top of me. Dan Graziano's across from me. And the lights are brighter in here.
Why? Well, I wonder why that could be.
I'm not on top.
Anybody got any theories?
We're close, but we're not. I'm not on top of you.
J-Mac is not on
That's
top
an
of
important
Evan.
distinction to me.
For those that aren't watching,
That cannot see us. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, the radio audience. Jason's sitting on my lap. So, are the Chiefs back? Did they ever leave? Jason, Graz, in that order?
The Chiefs are here. They never left. And I think you think about it, Rashee Rice is back. You saw him last night, what he brings to that offense. And Patrick Mahomes, like as long as he's the quarterback of this football team, they're always going to be relevant. But right now, this is the best that they've looked in the last few years, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And then the defense, getting stops early on in that game where they have some turnovers on downs. Now for the Commanders, it gave them more opportunities. But damn, the Chiefs are good.
Yeah, I mean, I think big differences, right? Like they're protecting him better, Mahomes, and real weapons at wide receiver, which, I mean, as opposed to, after Tyreek Hill goes, it's like, here's some guys, Patrick, make it work. Now you have a first-round pick and Xavier Worthy. You have, a Rashee Rice coming back who they haven't had in almost a year, really, because of the injury and then the suspension. So
they're operating it the way they want to, and you can tell the level of confidence that Patrick Mahomes has right now is sky high. Not that he should have ever not had confidence, but this is a scary-looking Patrick Mahomes.
Raj, J-Mac, I want to bring y'all in on a conversation that we were having because, of course, your New England Patriots beat the brakes off of the Cleveland Browns on Sunday, and after the game, Kevin Stefanski was adamant that he was sticking with Dillon Gabriel as his starting quarterback. I don't understand why, but I do want to ask you a very pointed question. Is Dillon Gabriel an NFL quarterback?
Oh, the hard thing when you look at Dillon Gabriel now, and I'm not giving you a clear-cut no or yes, because as a rookie quarterback on an offensive team that doesn't have a ton of weapons, doesn't look productive in its whole when Joe Flacco was the quarterback either, to insert Dillon Gabriel and say, all right, are you an NFL quarterback because the team and you're not having success? I don't want to just say right away no because of the situation at hand. Around the entire conversation, though, to me, you cannot just stick with Dillon Gabriel as if he is the answer when you're watching it on Sunday and your best player, one of the best players in the entire NFL, is sitting on the bench by himself, has 5 sacks, and looks completely distraught at the game. You got to come up with some type of answer. Just from the standpoint of on a football team and in the locker room, everybody else is looking and they're saying that's not the answer right now.
You draft a guy where they drafted Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round, you're probably thinking, if you're being honest with yourself, this guy could be a solid backup for us for a number of years. And so you're trying to find out what you have in Dillon Gabriel right now. Now, the other guy is Shedeur Sanders, who wasn't drafted till the 5th round. So by definition, we know they liked Gabriel better because they took him 2 rounds earlier. So right now, the Browns are in this situation where they need to get a look at the quarterbacks on their roster because they're going to have 2 first-round picks next year, and they have to know whether they're going to need to go draft one. But you want to get, first of all, you want to get a representative look. Even if in the back of your head you're thinking we're going to give Shedeur Sanders some games at some point, you still want to give Gabriel enough games so that you can make but the other thing is, like, you're also trying to win the game. And the first place team in your division, the Steelers, is falling back to earth. And this is a division that could be won maybe with, 8 or 9 wins this year based on where the Ravens are and the fact that the Bengals can't beat the Jets. So you have a situation where you're stuck between 2 things. Yes, you're trying to win the game. Neither one of these quarterbacks is probably good enough to help you win games consistently week to week in the NFL this year. So you're going with the better of 2, substandard options. It's a difficult position for Stefanski to be in.
Well, Graz, I guess the question that I have is, one is substandard. You have no idea about the other one. We're intimating that he is because he was drafted in the 5th round, but we have no idea what Shedeur Sanders is or isn't.
We don't.
It's starting to feel like we have a better idea of what Dillon Gabriel is, which is a limited quarterback.
But we don't know what the coaches are seeing in practice and all that kind of stuff.
I don't care what practice is. If the game, he threw a ball out of bounds, got an intentional grounding, and got a safety.
Yeah. I get it. The idea is, it couldn't be any worse, and maybe it couldn't, but it might not be better. And I think right now, if you're the Browns, you're in a weird situation where you have to get a look at these rookies. But you're also you're trying to win the game, and if you've assessed that Dillon Gabriel gives you a better chance right now than Shedeur Sanders, then the right thing to do is to try it with him for a little while longer. Now, a better chance doesn't necessarily mean a good one, right? That's sort of what I'm trying to get across here. Is if they feel like they have 2 options, neither of which is ideal, that's a tough spot.
At some point, Shedeur has to play.
I agree, and I think he will. But you understand what I'm saying? If you're the Browns coaches right now, you're not thinking,
games isn't
we'll give you 6 games and then we'll give him 6 games. You're still charging for parking. You're trying. You got to try and put the best product you can on the field.
Well, let's go to the other end of the spectrum, the Philadelphia Eagles. We had questions about the offense. No A.J. Brown, but Saquon goes off. They get the win, the revenge win against the Giants. Any concerns about this Eagles team that still remains for you, Jamie?
I think there's still concerns. The fact that A.J. Brown wasn't out there, he hadn't practiced this past week, had the game-winning catch against Minnesota, then did not practice the entire week. I think there's still some things that you have to figure out because they're going to need him to get to where they want to get to. They played against the Giants, who are down there starting their best cornerback on their team, their best safety on their team. So, yes, the product still looked good on Sunday, but to where they have to get, they're going to need A.J. Brown. But you look at the last 2 weeks, coming off, they lost to the Giants, they had 10 days off. The offense has looked so much better against Minnesota, throwing the ball all over the field. Now against the Giants, running the ball all over the field. That, to me, is the progression that you wanted to see from a Philadelphia Eagles team that kind of stumbled through the first few weeks of the season, which ended with that loss to the Giants. Make corrections, get better in those next 2 weeks, and we've seen that.
And I think what you want to see is consistency over a period of time that goes beyond 2 weeks at this point. And that's what we had with the Eagles last year. By the time we got to December, we know exactly who they are. We know